just happened. You know, they're making it up the hill okay, though, guys. When it's super, super icy, that is not what we see happen here. We saw here last year in the same spot, cars just slipping and sliding and going backwards. So this kind of shows you the story a little bit. Oh, this trailer's coming to a stop, and they might have to, you know, back down and go a different way. So do not feel too confident going up the hills. I know it might just look like a snowpack, but there is ice. And yeah, it looks like this trailer is trying to figure out what to do next.
Hey,
I don't
Tony,
know how long I have here, but
stand by.
They are sliding.
Stay with us,
he's
Bonnie.
sliding.
This car is clearly sliding down this hill.
Okay, and
My
okay,
goodness.
you guys,
Oh.
wow.
And Tony,
I hope the driver is okay.
Bonnie,
Knock the sign over.
We can see the driver. They're okay.
okay, good.
But oh wow, yeah, that driver just took out the sign, the arrow sign on this hill, and we'll go make sure he's okay and he can get out of there. But
we want to
that's
stay
just
on
an
this
example
picture
of
for
how
a minute,
slippery
Bonnie.
it is, you guys.
Bonnie, we want to stay on your
yeah,
picture for a minute, okay?
Part of the problem is now that now they're blocking.
Right.
So anybody who was going to try and go up that hill now has to stop.
Well, and what's
on
scary
that hill.
is if somebody slides coming down the hill.
Exactly.
Right?
Same. Either way, you've got someone blocking the roadway there where, you know,
Tony,
someone's got to hit the brakes.
And he's just
up or
slipping
down
and
the hill.
sliding. I don't know if you guys
Trying to get out
hear
of
the
this
engine.
sitting
Bonnie,
area.
we
Trying to move, but not only does he have, you know, his own truck, he's got this trailer behind him too. All that extra weight, just not a good idea to try to get.
Hey,
up the
Bonnie,
road.
Joe is here now, and he lives in this general area. So if we have his mic up, he wants to kind of weigh in on it.
I just wanted to point something out here. So they're at the bottom of that hill, and I've covered this hill. This is one of the snow zones.
Murray Hill, right?
The problem is, well, this stretch right here, we're looking at that is 175th, I believe, Bonnie, correct? Or 175th and Rygert. So the issue is that people that come on the other way, if you're coming down, a lot of times you don't realize it's snowy, and once you hit that snow, it's very hard to brake. So what I'm worried about here is you're going to get somebody coming down that hill, and it's going to be very difficult to stop and avoid that truck. So that is the huge safety issue that I would worry about right now.
Absolutely. And I mean, we just saw this visual reminder of, even with chains, we saw the car earlier, had a really rough time making it up the hill. So now let's watch. Is this truck going to try to?
No, they can't.
No, they're not.
And if you've ever
Nope, they're being smart.
Yeah.
They looked up the hill and said, nope, no thank you. And
if
they
you've
moved
ever
along.
slid in the
It
snow,
looks like
you know
this
how-
guy is
how
maybe
terrifying
calling
it
for
is.
some backup here.
Yeah. Is he alone?
Yeah,
Is there
and
anybody
it just
with
shows
him?
you, like, he looked okay going up at first, and then he just slowly lost momentum because that hill is so steep. And we saw it live. He just slammed into this grassy or this area and took out that sign. I don't know if we can see the orange sign there, arrow. It's just laying in the ground. We could hear the crash. But here we go. We have another car. Oh, they're going to stop. They were just sliding a little bit. They were trying to go up the hill.
They wanted to go up
that
that
they
way.
saw the situation and they made the right move to stop.
This is the area, I mean, that is the area where you have to make a decision if you're going up or not, because once you get basically to where that trailer is, or a little bit past it, you're going to be sliding. So that at that stop sign, you're safe to turn around and do that. The issue is, hopefully that person's okay.
Yeah, hey, Joe, as a person familiar with this area, if your home is there, if this person's trying to get to their house, is there another access point to those homes, or is this it?
Yeah. Yeah, you can. You can go around. So there's other ways to get up there. At the top of 175th is a traffic circle. And so there's other roads like Kemmer that you can take to get to the top of that hill there. Outside it. So yes, it's not like a one-way. There's a traffic circle, so there's multiple ways that you can get to the top of that hill without having to go up 175th.
Wow. And Kim brought up a great point. If you've ever slid in snow, it is terrifying. You are completely out of control.
Well, and he's going backwards with a trailer.
Yeah.
You really feel for him.
Yeah, no, I will say, I mean, I've done numerous live shots at that very location, and you'll see Subarus, four-wheel drive with chains in the ditch. I mean, it happens on that.
I've been on this road
with a trailer.
I've been on this road many times, and I think it feels steeper when you're on it, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this may not look steep to you at home, but the incline on this.
If you're at the top of that hill, you get a feel for how steep it is, because once you get on the top, it's very difficult to stop on conditions like this. It's coming down it that can be very tricky.
Boy, again, to be honest, I'm glad we were able to bring that to you live, because it's just an example of you're looking outside thinking, oh, things have kind of slowed down, nothing's really happening, I'm gonna go for it, and you see an example right there of why My goodness, even with chains,
Yeah.
I don't know that they had them.
Well,
but with
and one of
chains.
the caveats about like chain exemptions is that you can't be towing. So I don't know if that person has chains on or what their situation is, but in typical passenger car, let's say a Honda Accord,
Right.
if you have traction tires and you have chains on board and you're not towing, then you can get exempt from like having to put actual metal chains on. But towing in these conditions, completely different ballgame.
And Tony, you were saying earlier, you've been showing many roads this morning that are now clearing, but when you get to your side roads, I mean, when you look out your window, that's when you really need to make a decision. This person looks to be going
Fast.
pretty fast for
pretty
the
fast.
conditions,
Little
right?
fast. Yeah.
But I think people get overconfident because they see other people out on the road.
And you see it on this road all the time.
Yeah.
People, oh, look out.
Oh, okay. Let's see what's happening here because are they going to try to
They're gonna
sneak
have to back
around
up.
that
No,
truck?
that's not going
And
to work.
again, this is the situation where, you know, now someone else has to reassess their plan very quickly. Some people might hit the brakes abruptly because they go,
Right.
oh, wait, the road's blocked. Then they have to kind of, you know, back up or do whatever it takes. You get a couple of cars doing that, then you've really got a mess on your hands.
Yeah, that person just decided to go the other way. I mean, you would think at some point, you know, hopefully somebody's seeing this or he's making phone calls and somebody will be there to help sort of tow him out of the way. But in the meantime, he's not in the truck anymore. Probably.
Bonnie's asking if he's okay.
Yeah, he said he's good. It looks like he just made a call to someone for some help. I feel so bad showing this happen on live TV. Unfortunately, it's just a hard lesson we have to learn, and I could kind of see his face as soon as it happened. Like he was just like, man.
Hey, Bonnie,
it's like
is it
once you make
possible
that commitment to go up the hill, like he was trying to go for it, but
Is it possible to
not
push
the
it a
right
little
call,
bit
I don't think.
and see what kind of traction situation they have there, if they have chains or what's going on with the tires there? Snow socks, maybe?
I don't see.
That's what it looks
Hard
like.
to say.
I don't see chains. I don't see.
Okay, well, we're going
snow
to keep an
socks.
eye
I
on
don't-
this.
Yeah.
And Bonnie, we'll check back with you shortly in Beaverton for a look at this situation and much more coming up here on Good Day Oregon.
First, live, local. This is a Fox 12 First Alert Weather Day.
Now at 8:30, a blanket of snow covering the city of Portland. We're first live local from one of Portland's trickiest driving spots.
And we're seeing conditions starting to slow down on the snow, but the roads are still very slick out there. Coming up in your first alert forecast, we'll walk you through when you can expect the big thaw to begin. That's coming up.
Thank you so much for joining us on this First Alert Weather Day. I'm Shauna Parsons.
I'm Kimberly Moss. Yeah, we just saw how slick those roads can be, so we're going to be talking more about that. Of course, we'll get to Tony with a look at our roads, but Katie, let's talk about the changing conditions this morning. We've seen that snow lighten up.
We have. Originally, the models were, most of them were indicating we'd be done by noon, by 10 o'clock to noon, actually. And as we've been watching our cameras, things have lightened up, and we're mainly seeing any remaining snow on the the east side of things. Everything on the west has dried up a bit. We're even starting to see some breaks in the clouds along the coast. Here's a look at some other areas around the region. Just want to make sure we're looking at all the places that you might be headed. We have some out in Troutdale there. We have along I-5, and we have up in Astoria where those roads have all been snowy. These are some areas that the roads are looking clear, but we know that's not the case all around. And for that, I'm going to send you over to Tony.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're in that kind of weird transition point where they're back to just wet pavement here on 5 South approaching the Interstate Bridge. But boy, still tons of snow there along the side of the road in many areas like you just saw, and we'll see here coming up with McKenzie are completely snow covered still. So definitely one of those delay the drive if you can until afternoon kind of mornings because conditions will continue to improve pretty quickly here. Kim and Shauna, back to you.
All right, Tony, thank you. We want to head a little south now as we give you a look at conditions on the roads.
Fox 12's Io Elise is driving. Are you driving towards Wilsonville still, Io? And what are you seeing? I know the highways are a little better traveled and tend to maybe melt off a little quicker. What are you seeing?
Yeah, at this point we're on 5 North and we've just passed Woodburn, and the road conditions, I'll let you have a look here. The road conditions are a little bit better here. The farther south that we tended to go, not that they've been cleared, but it looks like the snow has been trafficked on a bit more, so it's a little bit clearer. And the snow has a texture that it looks kind of dirty, but it also seems like something that you can drive on without being a little bit too worried. But however, we have seen a couple things on the road. We saw 2 jackknife semis driving south, and we also saw 4 cars pulled over, or one was even abandoned. So you can tell that even though the roads are starting to clear up, there are still people who are having trouble on the roads. Now, we came south using 217 South where the roads didn't seem nearly as clear. They still seem packed with snow, but the farther south we came, the more and more the roads tended to clear. So we got as far south, just past Woodburn, and that's when we really started to see the roads start to clear a little bit more. It doesn't look like they've been treated, but it definitely looks like they've been trafficked, and it makes it a little bit easier to drive on. We've been driving around 40 miles per hour this morning, taking it easy with our traction tires, so that's been really helpful in getting safely to and from these areas. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Io, thank you so much. Let's get over to Mackenzie Richmond now, and she is live. Are you still at 14th and Jefferson in Portland?
We moved again.
Okay.
We're back in the West Hills. Everything kind of cleared out of that area. Yeah, so we moved back up here. You see the blanket of snow here in the West Hills. We're actually in a snow zone. You can probably see that sign behind me, those flashing lights. This means that chains are required, traction tires are required, one or the others, especially when it's flashing. And it's understandable given all of this snow that we see on the ground here. I mean, you can barely even see the roadway. I don't even think you can. I think that's just a layer of sludge from all of the tires that have been crossing here on Barnes Road is where we're at right now. And take a look at that side street, that hill completely covered in a blanket of snow. It barely looks like cars have even driven there. And that's what a lot of the side streets here in the West Hills area look like. And so a lot of people, thankfully, seems like have been taking the advice of ODOT, taking our advice here on Fox 12, have not been on the streets. We've only really seen 2 cars pass by since we've been here in the last 15 minutes, probably a total of 10 cars or less in the West Hills all morning that have been here driving around. Now, the only thing I can say about driving and potentially precautions is that some people have been kind of slipping and sliding a little bit because you can see how dense, how thick the snow is on the road. It does seem to be having a layer of ice or slick patches underneath. So if you do need to get out and drive, maybe drive slower than this person, given that the speed limit is 30 miles per hour right now. And with snow, you're going to want to drive even slower than that. There's actually a car turning right in front of me right now, and they're slipping out under them. Looks like they got it back under control, but that is just something you're going to want to take into consideration. This car right here is the one that just slipped under a little bit. So if you are going to have to get out on the roads, try and stay home if you can. But if you are, drive slowly because of all of the snow and slick spots that you might not even be able to see the ice below you if it does come. But again, we've been telling you all morning, drive safe, drive slowly. We'll be here in the West Hills for the next hour at least, kind of covering the situation here and how the traffic is flowing. But I'll send it back to the station right now.
All right, Mackenzie, thank you. Definitely looks much different up in the hills.
It
where
does.
You're not seeing these roads as traveled.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we know a lot of you have been out there enjoying the snow with your families and your pets, and we have some pictures that tell the story.
Yeah, Joe Pathiathil's here to show us more of your submissions, Joe.
Yeah, we've had lots of great pictures. Let's just go ahead and get right to them. First of all, I'm calling this one Baby's First Sled.
Okay, that's amazing.
I love it. The laundry basket. Who knew? What a great use.
Foolproof idea there. I mean,
So fun.
Adorable.
I don't know if that's a luge or a sled, but whatever it is, it works. Let's continue to the kiddos having fun theme here. So we have these kiddos right here
With the dogs
with
on the
Scout
trampoline?
the dog on the trampoline.
Loving it.
And yes, I mean, the dog bouncing around a little bit, the kids not so much. So
fun.
we want to thank those folks for that. All right, now we're going to get into the pets portion of this, all right? So let's go ahead and we're going to have a little competition here. We're going to call this Who Wore This Best? We're going to call this Who Wore This Best, right? And we're talking about snowbeards, all right?
Okay.
So our first contestant is Maverick, all right?
Okay.
Now, let's go to our next photo in the snowbeard competition. This is Roxy.
Okay.
And so we want to say, you know, I mean, I think Roxy's expression tells the tale. Now, because Roxy's fur is white, I don't think the white is quite as pronounced
And
on
not
the
quite
snow,
a
right?
beard. That's like full facial hair.
It is. All right. But last but not least, I promised you a different kind of critter. Boom. Here we go.
Oh,
we have one of the residents at the Cedar Hollow Farm. This is in Oregon City. So if you're keeping tabs, today we've had dogs.
It's a llama.
We've had cats.
Oh!
We've had deer. We've had bunnies. We've had a tortoise. And yes, now a slightly befuddled llama, complete with what looks like a snow goatee.
But
in
Joe,
this
you know,
case.
yesterday we had an emu.
Oh, we did?
So
Okay.
I was wondering if this was
too.
another bird, but now I see
It's a llama.
face.
Yeah. So there you go. So want to thank you for your submission. Do you have a favorite of the three snowbirds that we saw? I think the llama probably takes it.
I mean,
don't
I
we
think the llama.
I think so.
I'm a
Even though they
sucker for
already have a
llama,
beard.
But they're all so cute.
There you go. Hey, remember, we want to see your pictures and videos. You can submit them on the Fox 12 app. And I just saw another critter that we have yet to represent here on Good Day Oregon.
Okay.
So we'll have that in our next
Oh, now you're
hour.
challenging people.
Exactly.
Challenging. Okay,
Yes. Send in your rhino pictures to Good
There
Day
you go.
Oregon, please. Yes.
Joe, thank you. You want to stay ahead of the weather. We just want to remind you about our Fox 12 weather app. It's free to download. It'll have all the latest on the forecast, delays, closings, everything you want. I use it all the time. I don't even go to my iPhone weather app anymore. I only use my Fox 12 app. I love it.
Yeah, it's so easy,
Yeah, the
right?
weather app is
Very
great.
handy.
And we do give specialized forecasts throughout the day through that app.
Yeah.
And so you get a little banner that comes up and we send these
I used it yesterday. It is fantastic, and you can slide it.
Yep.
I had a ball with it. No, I
Yes.
really did.
We
It was
do,
great.
and we try and like hit those things because weather happens when we're not on air, right?
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure that when the lightning strikes, when the tornado comes, when the snow starts falling, we send it out right
great.
away. So it's a nice little 1 minute quick hit that we tell you what's happening at that moment. At this moment, it's dead out in Multnomah Falls. Not a single person out there, which I'm actually thankful for, because we are in that first alert day still for the gorge for you today. Bridge of the Gods, not as treacherous there, but still snow on the roads. Same thing when you head out to Tor Hood River. And then, of course, you have out here into the Dalles and quite a bit more snow and just a few bare spots. It is a first alert day out there, and you'll notice as we get on the radar, yes, we're definitely sort of getting to the end of the snow here, but we're continuing to see that as you head off east and toward Pendleton, and then you can see some down there towards Burns, and I know that there's more to the south. But as far as the metro and the valleys and to the north and the coast, here's what we have for you as we get into the later part of the morning. You can see all the way up to Longview, over to Astoria, down to Tillamook, everything through here. It's pretty much moved on. There's a little bit of snow activity, just a few flakes falling, really tiny ones, but we're done with the major snow and freezing rain and ice. Moving down south into the valley, we'll still see some areas of freezing rain and snow. Most of that, Gates still getting some snow, some rain as you're heading over Sandy and Pass. I even saw some freezing rain in there, but all the way down to Eugene and then out to the coast there from Yachats all the way up to Lincoln City. It looks like the most of it has passed. The road conditions, as we have been watching and tracking for you all day, are still not amazing in the less traveled areas. Highways are getting better. Things are starting to melt as tires and things like that. But the less traveled roads and the ones that need warmer temperatures, those are not going to get better for us until we get into the later part of the afternoon when we start to see more sunshine and temperatures into the low 40s. Overnight temperatures have been in the 20s for the last 4 days. We're finally going to be into the 30s, just not yet. Here we are still right at average, finally at Baker City, colder still in Burns, same thing in Redmond. All of these areas have all been below average. By the time we get to Sunday, look at these cold temperatures that we've had all through this overnight temperatures. By the time we get to Sunday, we should be back into the low 40s, and then we stay in these low 40s all the way through the week. And these are your cold temperatures. So this really helps gets us out of this deep freeze. We are now to the end of everything. You see it's moving on and not going to see anything else. There is a few chance for showers here and there in this afternoon, but we'll be warm, so it would just be some rain. And then we have a few that start through the day tomorrow, but mainly dry until we get into the early parts of the evening, right around 8 o'clock. Temperatures are in the low 40s, so it's rain for all of us with that snow level still at the pass level. And you'll see that we go all the way until Monday midnight, or well, between Sunday and Monday, and it's snow up at the mountains, rain for the metro valleys all the way across and all the way to the coast. 7-day forecast has one last day. So when we get back together this weekend, we will not have any more red days on our 7-day forecast. We'll be back to regular, normal, late February, getting close to early spring weather with rainy times, some sun breaks, temperatures upper 40s to low 50s, and overnight temperatures nice and toasty warm in those low 40s. Tony?
Katie, if we did get some of that rain and it's above freezing, would that help kind of wash some of the snow away? Definitely. Yeah, okay. Does that make me a junior meteorologist now?
You get your badge. You guys, Tony asked me the most awesome questions. He comes over and he's like, please explain this to me.
Not everybody would know that, but clearly I did. So this would be a badge or something somewhere.
Yeah.
Rico and Deb just hopped back on I-5. They just left the rest stop there down by Wilsonville. And again, you know, we're at that tricky point where the freeways are looking okay. I mean, the road's just wet there, but boy, you pull off the freeway, you're right back on the snow. So we're not quite done with all this just yet. And boy, the longer you can put off any kind of a drive, the better you're going to be there. This is, of course, 217. A lot of snow still along the side of the road, but you can see where the pavement has improved dramatically here in the last couple of hours. Kim and Shauna, back to you.
All right, Tony, thank you.
As we head to a break, we want to show you another live look outside. This is our Shriners Children's Portland cam, as it looks like a winter wonderland in the city of Portland. Much more of our first live local weather alert coverage after the break. Well, the last time we checked in with Bonnie Silkman, we were watching live on the air as somebody slid down a hill and into a sign.
Pretty scary situation. Yeah. Bonnie is in Beaverton. We want to rejoin her now for a look at the situation and to tell us more about the conditions there. And the good news, Bonnie, this person was not hurt.
Yes, exactly. We're going to show you that video of that moment that you're talking about in just a moment. But the driver did get out of there. So we're in Beaverton. It is a snowy, icy morning. We're at the bottom of this really steep hill, 175th. So we're standing on Rygardt at the bottom of the hill. And let's show you that video right now of what we saw happen about 20 minutes ago. So we could see this truck with the trailer. It looks like it's like a plumbing company. And you can see it's trying to make its way up the hill. When we watched live, it started slowly rolling back. You could see it started losing control. Eventually, it ran into the grassy area with the bushes, and then it slammed into a sign, an arrow sign, and we just heard it come crashing down. We waved to the driver after. He said he was okay. And about 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes after we wrapped up our live shot with you, he was able to get out of there. We did not think he was going to be able to get out of there, but he did. He said, "Oh my goodness, was that just on live TV?" We said, "Yes, I'm so sorry, it was." And he said, "Yeah, not going up that hill again." And so yeah, he's okay. He got out of there okay. But that is just really the message we're trying to let people know. The snow, the roads might not look too bad. You might say, "Oh, it looks snowy, it looks packed." There's some ice underneath the snow for sure. And if we look over here, some more fun news. If we look close enough, we can see, I think, a really good dad pulling the kid up the hill. I don't know what this kid did for this treatment. Just kidding. I'm sure they deserve it. But a lot of kids on a snow day today. So a lot of sledding probably. And this is a great hill to do it. You just got to be safe. And then in the foreground here, we can see this truck. They have been chaining up because we are in a snow zone, which means that snow chains or traction tires are required right here in Beaverton. So that's the story you're going to hear all morning. Stay home if you can. Enjoy the snow day with the kiddos if you can. Don't try to go up the hills like that other driver did, those steep hills. Not a good idea because it's more slick than you might think. So we're going to stay here, try to talk to drivers, maybe some sledders. Just take it easy out there and stay safe. For now, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, and another lesson learned is our Fox 12 cameras might be anywhere. So just be really careful or you will be caught on live television.
Watching.
Yeah, Bonnie, thank you.
Thanks, Bonnie. All right, let's get back over to Katie. Our weather team is watching what's happening with this latest system that's moved through and brought us more snow.
Yes, and here we see a live camera. This is actually not the camera. It should be at Mount Hood. I wonder why it's showing us. I had it up at Mount Hood, but it's showing us the Vancouver. There we go.
Wanted a little love.
I did. It wanted to show up. That's really weird that happened. This is where the snow should be, right?
Yes, this is where we like it. We like the snow there.
It is coming down up at Mount Hood. I've been watching to see if we've had any totals. It's been so light up at the mountain, and in fact, when we did our first alert days, we didn't include up at the mountain or even the coast or the Cascade Range because of the fact that we were not expecting things to be anything but normal for what you would want or get up at the mountain. Of course, we're going to, watch and track those road conditions for you. And as you can see, all snow-packed, snow-covered roads across the board. Now, with the snow level going up, it isn't going to go up enough to where those roads would be back into basically where it would be warm enough for things to really thaw out naturally. So the Cascade passes all stay there at Government Camp at that level through the next couple of days. So we have a potential to get more snow as we have those rain coming in on Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday. So maybe we'll have some fresh snow for you skiers and snowboarders when you want to head up. Talked about the beginning of the end. You can see some cloud breaks here at the coast in the Discover Newport camera. Temperatures above freezing there in the low 40s. That will eventually make it to the Portland Metro, Valleys area, north and south. Radar showing the last of everything coming off to the east. You can see there's still some snow activity in the gorge, and we're expecting that all the way out into Pendleton for a little while longer. It does last a bit in that part of the region. But for now, at the coast today, no first alert day. Things look very calm. We'll be getting into those mid-upper 40s. When you get into the valleys, that is still a first alert weather day. We've had that early snow. Now we're turning things to dry and warmer in the low 40s. Out into the gorge area, still a first alert snow day. first alert day with snow ending later today, but I saw and I showed you on the radar that's still happening as you go to the east. Even though it's warmer, it's still going to be in the 30s. Up at the mountain, no first alert there. That snowy morning will become a drier afternoon. We'll keep those snow-packed roads all day today and into tomorrow. And for your eastern and central Oregon forecast, we're definitely seeing warmer temperatures, but still in the low 30s to Burns and Baker City and the upper 30s as you head through central Oregon and even over into La Grande. Your Portland metro temperatures, we're getting back into the low 40s. You can see all around there up into Vancouver and then down into Lake Oswego and off in all the directions except Sandy. Sandy will be a little on the cooler side. The last of the snow is just off to the east. You'll notice that we have nothing else coming through the metro up Vancouver all the way up to Longview, out to Astoria, and then of course heading down into the valleys. We are all done with our snow accumulation and just a little more as you head out into the Dalles, only about 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch. Here's your 7-day forecast with those temperatures warming and back to rainy for the weekend and the start of next week. Tony?
Thanks, Katie. Out to a live look here off the top of the Metro building. There's a stalled semi-truck on the ramp from 84 inbound to 5 northbound. And the truck is right there. Another semi-truck just going past it on the left-hand side. So there's enough room to squeeze by. But again, that semi is stuck there on that ramp for some reason. Not quite sure what. But these are the things you see when you head out onto these roads that are still very, very slick in many areas. So we'll keep checking, let you know if they make any progress in getting that truck cleared off of the freeway. Shauna, back to you.
Tony, thank you. Hey, you guys, you know who else is out of school today? Not just people in Oregon. Kids in Philadelphia are out of school today because this is the parade celebrating the Philadelphia Eagles. Thousands of people lining up to cheer on their team after their big Super Bowl victory. Pretty cool. Looks like they have nicer weather in Philadelphia than we do right now, but we definitely wanted to bring this to you live as it was happening. We'll be right back with much more on our First Alert Weather Day after the break. Well, it is a First Alert Weather Day, but it's also Valentine's Day. So Drew is here now to talk us through the rest of the day because, Drew, a lot of people make reservations for dinner. Is this something that people will be able to keep?
I think you'll be, for the most part, okay. If you do have those plans this evening, hopefully you didn't make big morning Valentine's Day plans. We're still seeing those icy frozen roads. We're seeing the snow mostly coming to an end now, but once we get into the afternoon, our temperatures are going to be above freezing. That thawing really begins. We'll also get some sun breaks into the afternoon, we think, which is really going to help with that. And then tonight for those Valentine's Day plans, we should see improved roads. We don't expect to drop to freezing in Portland, so we'll continue to see the thawing overnight as well and into tomorrow. But it's going to be one of those things where you just check your neighborhood, look outside. If the roads are still too snowy, maybe for you, then stay in. But most of the well-traveled roads should be pretty good. 30 degrees right now, so we're starting to approach that freezing temperature. But as I mentioned, most of the snow has come to an end. We'll still probably see a couple of flurries popping up. You can kind of see a little bit there, or maybe some really fine snow. But for the most part, we're seeing that come to an end down towards Salem, maybe a shower passing through. Another good thing, that wind has really calmed down. That is going to be really helpful today. We'll still get a little bit of a breeze off on the east end, but we're seeing much calmer conditions. Shauna?
I'm so happy on behalf of our local restaurant owners and people who, I mean, Valentine's Day is a big deal. So if we can still have customers tonight, that's great news. All right, we've also seen a lot of really sweet videos and pictures this morning from people and their pets and their kids. Drew, you have little Lincoln, who is just adorable. What are we going to see here?
This is him, basically his first snow, and he was going crazy for it.
He's so cute.
Hopping around, he clearly had the zoomies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He looks up at the camera here in just a second, and it's so cute.
There
right
he
there.
is,
Oh,
Lincoln. Oh, my gosh.
yeah.
So fun. I'm so glad you shared this with us.
He loves
It's been so fun. And we've seen a bunch of our coworkers' pets, my one-eared cat, your dog. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. Drew, thank you so much.
Yep.
Much more ahead. Keep it right here for more coverage of this First Alert Weather Day. We'll be right back.
Thanks for watching Fox 12 Oregon News. Watch us live wherever you are on our website, our mobile, and our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. First, live, local. This is a Fox 12 First Alert Weather Day.
Now at 9, winter weather is making for some treacherous driving conditions in some areas. I'm Kimberly Moss. We know all of you are interested in what's going on with the snow and the ice out there. We do have live crews across the metro area taking a look at the conditions where you are. Before we check in with Tony and Katie, take a look at this. This is video from just over a half hour ago in Beaverton, where Fox 12's Bonnie Silkman was taking a look at road conditions. The driver of this truck you just saw there, he has a trailer. He was trying to make his way up a hill, but slid back down, crashing into a street sign. I think this is at like 175th and Reichert. This is a warning that some of the roads are very tricky and dangerous. So we will have much more on this coming up. Tony will look at the roads, and Katie is here now. Katie, the snow has moved through. You're taking us to the coast. Still very chilly out there.
Chilly, a few clouds, but we have seen most of the precipitation finish up. We're getting into the 9 o'clock hour where things have really slowed down for us as far as snow, ice, freezing rain, all of that. There have been a few little flakes falling here and there, but you can tell everything has calmed down. So now we just have the snow, then the ice, then the snow, which is what we had from yesterday, overnight, last night, into this morning. And that's what's attributing to those conditions that you've seen. Some areas are starting to warm a little. In fact, we've seen mid-30s in Salem, so we're getting close to that melting time coming in, which means roads will still be slick this morning and into the afternoon, but by the time we get through that noon hour and into the early parts of the evening, a widespread melt should be coming up. Of course, we're going to get into more details through this hour. Good day, Oregon. Tony.
Thanks, Katie. A live look at 205 northbound near the Gladstone off-ramp there, OSP, with a car that was spun around facing the wrong way. They've gotten it straightened out there, but they're still blocking over on the right-hand side there, and they're at the top of that ramp to Gladstone from 205 north. So just use a little extra caution out there, but of course that's a good advice no matter where you're heading out this morning. Still have some very slick and snow-covered roads out here. More, of course, and all that coming up right now. Kim, back to you.
All right, Tony, thank you. We begin our team coverage this hour in Portland. Fox 12's Mackenzie Richmond is in the West Hills with a look at conditions there. Mackenzie, you grew up in this area. You're familiar with what happens in the West Hills. In this location where you are in the higher elevations, boy, it certainly does look pretty though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely stunning. I mean, the blanket of snow covering the entire area of West Hills right now in Portland. We are along Barnes Road. There hasn't been too much traffic out here during our coverage this morning. We've seen more people out. In fact, we just saw a woman actually with ski poles and snowshoes trekking down Barnes Road right now. It looked like she was heading to the grocery store. Oh, looks like there's a car right there. You can see people are taking it a little bit slower along these roads because they are just packed with snow, and you never know underneath that snow there are some slick spots here that you just can't see because of the flakes that fell earlier this morning. But just like you mentioned, I did grow up here. This is all very familiar to me, and living here during the winter storms in Portland, it's no easy walk in the park. I grew up on a hill just like this one actually, and while it's beautiful to look at, very hard to drive down, but my family actually, we got hit with a winter storm back in 2012. Take a look at this photo from me back in 2012. Yes, that is a kayak, not a sled. Unfortunately, my family was not prepared for the storm to hit, and we lived up near Skyline Boulevard, completely snowed in and could not get out. So we didn't have sleds, so we just decided to take our kayaks out and just sled down our hill, just like the one that you see behind me. So those are some of my memories.
I love that so much, Mackenzie. And I love that you're familiar with this area. You know what drivers can expect when they get out in these conditions. Of course, this picture with you when you were a lot younger, but we appreciate the coverage you brought us this morning of what's been happening on the roads. I just love that you shared this with everybody at home. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Oh, really fun. All right, let's get over to Katie as we take a look at our situation because, you know, where Mackenzie is, you know, you don't see a lot of drivers up there. The roads aren't heavily traveled. Yet Tony shows us what's happening on the highways. I think there's a misconception. You don't know what you're going to get, is, you know, no matter which area you're in.
Yes, and it's, you would expect the higher traveled roads, you know, we see, especially after yesterday, there's still some people going out, the tires, the friction, they melt everything's down. But then stuff did refreeze last night because it didn't go away. away. It didn't evaporate. It was still sitting on the road. So then we get to those freezing temperatures again. Some of us never went above freezing, and then some more snow and ice and rain pellets came in last night and this morning. In Willamette Valley Vineyard right now, we're in the low 30s, which means we're not quite out of freezing yet, but we are starting to see temperatures warm in other areas where we've had the freeze. Look at the stoplights there. You can see this is in downtown Salem right there on the corner Commercial. It's 36, which means we should begin to very soon start to see this ice sort of melt off from these areas where it has glazed. And that's the direction that we all should be going because, as you see here, most of the snow is done, but it's obviously moving off to the east. Now, if you're in the gorge area or heading off to the east at all, know that we're continuing to see some snow. It's just finishing up there now, but it continues off toward Pendleton, and we have had some snow also in central and eastern Oregon. Things are lightening up, though, for the region all the way up, all the way down, and then look right through here. You can see just a couple of showers coming through. These might pop up through the day today. We'll see more rain as we get into tomorrow and especially tomorrow night. Here's where we've had the ice storm warning. It's supposed to be through 10 o'clock, and with those temperatures going up, I expect this will expire here anytime soon. But the main areas of concern were in the valleys where we could see that ice coating and glazing, which I just showed you. Earlier, we came through and you could see quite a few areas that were picking up some additional possibilities of ice glazing through tomorrow morning. But you'll notice it's just a few places and really not as many heavily traveled areas. So that's good. This is where we have that warning in place, and these are just some of those final areas that could see something. Now, the difference between the rain, the snow, and the freezing rain, it all depends on those temperatures. So if you're wondering why are we talking about ice pellets and freezing rain and snow, and the differences between that is because wherever your elevation is, where your snowflakes form, sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower, depending on the depth of that cold, then you have a nice little warm layer somewhere in between. And if it's this thinner warm layer, it just melts and then refreezes in a deeper cold layer. That's when you get the ice pellets. And then that's the snow that I heard this morning coming in just down the street here from the station, hitting my window, going ding, 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 ding. That's your ice pellets. As we warm up and we start to see more warmth in there, then it could turn into freezing rain if you're cold at the ground. But you can see in Salem, not cold. Up to the north, definitely still cold enough, not cold enough there along the coast. And then obviously you can see still cold enough heading off to the east. And we're watching those temperatures warm on the other side and then stay cold through the metro and up into Kelso, but everywhere else, much warmer and warming up from yesterday, which again is the direction we're going. We're going to have this afternoon melting, turning rainy tomorrow night, and then temperatures get into those upper 40s to low 50s for several days in a row, and then we'll just be rainy at times. Tony?
Thanks. Yeah, definitely, Katie, looking within hours before things begin to really start to look quite a bit better. So we're getting really close. This is along 205, Tad, and Io, taking a trip up the freeway there, which, again, still not completely clear. Some areas it's back to this wet pavement. Some areas, clearly, it is not. And, of course, once you're off of the freeway, you take your ramp, your exit, or even the road in front of your house or your driveway, you're still likely to come across a lot of snow here. And not just in the Portland area. It really covers a wide area up and down the I-5 corridor. That earlier crash you showed you, 205 north of Gladstone, that's been cleared. But again, from, south of Salem all the way up the I-5 corridor through the Portland area and then north on I-5 up into Clark County and Cowlitz County. Similar conditions this morning. Of course, into the gorge, we have the same thing happening there. 84, of course, is open. And even in the Coast Range areas, we have quite a bit of snow along the side of the road. So a little ways to go before we're completely clear, but we're getting closer. Kim, back to you.
Yeah, we just have to be a little patient. Tony, thank you. Let's head to Vancouver now. That's where Fox 12's Deborah Gill is this morning. And Deborah, it's just been a really pretty picture there this morning. Really problem-free, essentially, right?
It really has been. We're at Andreessen and Mill Plain Boulevard, and now is the time when you can almost kind of enjoy the snow because now it's pretty to look at. And here, really, it's not icy. I mean, even as I kind of dug through the layers at my feet, I mean, it looks like about 2.5 to 3 inches, but no ice really. So it's still fat, fluffy flakes were falling until about 7:30, tapered off a little bit, and then just stopped and not causing any real issues at all. So with schools on a snow day here in the Vancouver area, most offices closed. The morning commute really was very light. Snow buildup on the surface streets and freeways, of course, meant everyone is driving much more slowly, and that includes transit buses that are utilizing chains on the tires. People we talk to say driving those still concern them.
It's nice. Kind of iffy about driving, but yeah, I have to get to work.
Yeah, some people still had to get to work. Some ventured out on foot to get groceries, saying that their store here was without power yesterday, so they had to wait until today. Now everyone, of course, is just hoping that all this doesn't freeze over and cause problems for them later this afternoon with the evening commute. Reporting live in Vancouver, Deborah Gill, Good Day, Oregon.
Deb, thank you. Coming up on Good Day Oregon, a heartwarming story to get you through this chilly Valentine's Day morning. Two lovebirds bonded on the ice almost 60 years ago and are skating through their romance ever since. On this Valentine's Day, love is in the air and on the ice. For decades now, this charming couple with the smooth moves has been spotted at a local rink. It turns out these skating legends have been gliding through life together for nearly 60 years.
Videos on social media of an adorable couple gliding on ice in perfect harmony are leaving hearts melting, with hundreds of heartfelt comments like, "Okay, fine, I believe in love again," and "They're precious and must be protected at all costs." So who are these senior skaters with the flawless footwork? Well, we found them. Here at the Lloyd Center in Portland, the crew knows them well. It turns out they are former competitive skaters who first stepped on the ice together in 1967, right when their love story first started.
We had a sense of oneness on the ice, that two move as one, and as time went along, that's when we got married.
We're calling their love story When Jerry Met Tally. And their beginning starts as teenagers on the ice in some seriously stylish matching outfits.
We skated, and I had never felt such smoothness, such harmony. It was just so beautiful.
Now, 58 years later, with their matching ensembles still intact, of course, Jerry is turning 75 years old, while Tally is nearly 80.
We put on a lot of miles here.
And they're still skating through life side by side on and off the very same rink. In fact, to this day, they lace up and skate here every week, back where it all began.
Tally was already a tremendous skater. She was already a national level competitor, and I was just a pick from the sticks.
Tally, what was your first impression of Jerry?
I thought he was really nice and enjoyed being with him.
The Leonards say they met by chance when a professional skater suggested they compete together based on their similar styles.
She told me that there's a girl in Portland that sure skates like you. I think she saw the same style and passion for skating and said, you need to get together. You just had to have a body chemistry that you looked like you belonged together. There was no push, pull, tug. It was just two moving as one.
Gliding in perfect unison, they went on to make several appearances at the U.S. National Figure Skating Championships, all before tying the knot and opening their own dental practice together.
Tally, what is your favorite thing about your Valentine?
Well, he's wonderful. He's so kind to me and helps me in every way. And I love him with all my heart. You
too, Mommy.
And now it warms their hearts, knowing that people passing by the ice are feeling the love too.
People come up and share with us how they're enjoying it. We really thank them for their message that they give us. We just love being together. You know, when we're walking, we hold hands. Whatever we do, we get to do it together.
Oh, our Bonnie Silkman brings us the best stories. That is one of them. I know. It's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic.
Incredible.
What a lovely couple.
And what amazing skaters they still are.
I know.
So, yeah, just love that story.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
It's a snowy one to start off, at least. We'll start to get some melting here before too long, but 30 degrees right now in Vancouver on our Maryhill Winery tasting room and bistro camera. We're just waiting for those temperatures to climb above freezing. Here in Turner, 31 degrees, getting a little bit closer. And we do have some snow showers coming down right now on our Willamette Valley Vineyards camera. We might see a couple more showers pop up, but the pretty consistent precipitation is mostly coming to an end. So you can see very scattered kind of showers throughout the metro area. Off to the east, we're still seeing a little bit of that snowfall, but you have to get pretty close to the foothills of the mountains for that. And then some of those lighter showers down towards Salem area. Further south, it looks like maybe there was some freezing rain mixed in there here pretty recently as well. Down in Salem, it's now 36 degrees, so that melting is starting to begin. We've got mid-30s to low 40s out along the coast. Kelso at 33 degrees as well. So we're starting to approach the time where we'll get that thawing. But again, it'll take a while for all that snow to melt off. East of the Cascades, temperatures in the 20s with just a couple spots there in the low 30s. As I mentioned, some showers still possible as we go into the afternoon, but we should be looking at drier conditions, some sun breaks in there as well. It did look like in Turner, maybe there was a little bit of sunlight poking through. Going into tonight, mainly dry. We don't expect to refreeze through the night. Some of the outlying areas, that's possible, but in the Portland area, we should be looking at temperatures staying pretty close to above freezing. We'll climb into the 40s again tomorrow with some rain showers, just looking at that rain, and then rain as we head into Monday as well. Winds are pretty light out there today. There's a little bit of a breeze off to the east in Troutdale, 10-mile-per-hour winds, so there's still a little bit of a wind chill there, but we've really seen things calm down. We'll continue to see those calm winds through the day today and into the start of tomorrow at least. But by tomorrow, late afternoon or evening, we see an east wind picking back up into the east side of the metro, but that won't last very long. And then by Sunday, we're starting to get more of a south wind, being a little bit warmer. So we'll climb to the mid 40s or so tomorrow, upper 40s on Sunday. And then as we head into next week, we'll again see some showers at times, but a little bit warmer Monday, Tuesday, climbing to the low 50s. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, maybe just a little bit of a drop in temperature. Not bad, but those overnight lows are going to be now into the 40s once we get into this weekend. Tony?
Yeah, much better. Thanks, Drew. On the Sunset Highway heading up the hill past the area of Washington Park. Stall there at the very top left of the corner of the screen there. You can barely make out some of the flashing lights. Again, traffic's getting by okay. They have to kind of scoot over to the left to get around that stalled car. But, you know, it's been a morning like this where a lot of little things are popping up there. You can see the pavement on the Sunset Highway is in pretty good shape, just wet there, but still so much snow on the side roads that make it very, very slick and treacherous. If you can just delay your drive a little bit, maybe into the early afternoon, you'll see a big improvement in these conditions. Kim, back to you.
All right, Tony, thank you very much. We continue our First Live local team coverage on this First Alert Weather Day after the break. Right now, we're giving you a look at conditions in Portland from our Rivermark Community Credit Union camera. We'll be right back. It is a First Alert weather day, and we continue our coverage now in Northwest Portland. We want to get to Fox 12's Mia Villanueva. She is on the road. I believe you're on Burnside, Mia?
Yeah, that is right. Burnside in Northwest Portland. Kim, heading up a hill right now. I'll give you a look at the road in front of me here. So you can see that this road has been plowed. So good news here, a little bit of slush between the lanes, but other than that, you should have no problem on this main road. However, some of these side streets in downtown Portland have not been treated, have not been plowed. So that may be where you run into issues if you don't have the right tires on your car. Again, we are out on the roads today because we are all equipped. We have snow-studded tires on this car, so we really had no trouble getting around on any road. We were on I-84, 26 side streets with these snow-studded tires. We've been really safe, but if your car is not equipped with those, you may run into issues. But again, heading up a hill here on Burnside in Northwest Portland, you can see this road is plowed. A little bit of slush on the roadways that may kick back up onto your car if you are have a car in front of you. But as you can see here, the road is pretty clear, and people have really been heeding by our warning and staying off the roads this morning. So all good here, Kim. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Mia, be safe out there. Thank you very much. Let's turn to Drew Reeves now. You may be wondering how much snow we got, so let's take a look.
Yeah, so these aren't official reports, they're citizen reports that we get, but we're giving an idea of almost exactly what we were expecting. We were expecting that 2 to 4 inches range, and most people are showing that that's what we got. Southeast Portland reports show 3 inches of snow there. Salem, 3.5 inches. Battleground, about 3.5 inches. The report from Tiger was 2 inches there, so we're right in that range of what we were expecting to be falling. Gresham, 3.5 inches as well. Our official report yesterday, these come out daily from the National Weather Service, 1.3 inches is what we saw at PDX yesterday. We'll add the total that we see this morning and from overnight today for February 14th. So we'll see a couple of inches from this storm most likely. We didn't see any freezing rain or ice accumulating last night, but we likely did see a little bit overnight. When we look at our winters, we have now gone 10 consecutive winters in the Portland area with measurable snowfall. Our lightest was in 2019 to 2020. We only saw half an inch of snow that winter, but that 10 years in a row, we've had some really snowy ones recently as well. In 2022 to 23, we saw 11 inches. In 2016 to 17, 11.2 inches there. So our winters can be kind of hit and miss with that snow, but nice to see that we have seen a little bit each winter so far. We continue with that first alert weather day today. Even though we're going to start to see the melting, it's going to take a while for all that snow on the roads to be melting off, and we have to get those temperatures above freezing before that will start to begin. So we're still a little bit below that. We're right around 30 degrees right now, but our high today should climb into the low 40s, tomorrow into the mid 40s, and by Sunday into the upper 40s. And you can see those overnight lows. We don't expect them to drop back below freezing in Portland, so we'll continue with that thaw. And as we get some wet weather moving into the weekend, it's just going to continue to be some showers. Kim.
All right, Drew, thank you. It is a cold Valentine's morning with snow and ice on the ground, but we will slowly thaw as the day goes on. We'll continue our first live local team coverage after the break as we look live now from Vancouver at our Maryhill tasting room and bistro camera.
Join us and take part in the Fox 12 Hunger Free Project, working to help people in our community have access to the food they need. You can make a difference by rounding up to the nearest dollar at your local Fred Meyer store. First, live, local. This is a Fox 12 First Alert Weather Day.
Good morning. Now at 9, very tricky conditions in the metro area this morning. I'm Shauna Parsons. It is a first alert weather day. It's also Oregon's 166th birthday and Valentine's Day, you guys. It's a big day here in our area. So we'll get to Tony in a moment for a look at the roads. It's been real tricky out there. First, so let's check in with Katie and how things are shaping up for the forecast.
Well, first I had to show my own picture. So we've seen Shauna's cat. We've seen Mackenzie out in the snow. This was from when we had that big storm back in January 2017. Do you remember, guys, when all the roads were shut down? The kids were stuck on the buses and everything like that.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
I was fortunate. I stayed home and I was able to have my kids home from school. But you know how we tell people don't open your refrigerators? So I pulled all my stuff out of the refrigerator and put it out in the snow so I could make sure the essentials stayed cold.
Like soda?
Yeah, like my Pepsi, because that's just what I have to have. So that's my Katie Snow Day memory for you from some of our stuff. Now the camera's bouncing around a bit there in Salem, but I wanted to show you the ice glazing that's on the lights there. That's what we're talking about with the dangerous conditions and the driving and the situations around. Now that a majority, if not all, of the precipitation has stopped, we have layers of snow and ice out on your roads and walkways, so you want to be careful of that when you head out today. We've already seen some of the problems that's happened and caused people with trying to get up hills. We are going into a melt. We're going to see warmer temperatures, rain coming through Sunday. We'll get into the details of your extended forecast, what we can expect, and that's all coming up here in just a few minutes. Tony.
Thanks, Katie. Seeing some of that warming here with the weather overlay on the traffic map. You can see fewer areas now in the blue, so things are slowly warming up. And as they do, the roads will continue to improve. Sunset Highway looks okay where the busy parts of the roadway there and the traffic is moving over. It's just wet pavement, but clearly along the side of the road, and many of the other side streets and roads and upper elevations are still completely covered in snow at this point this morning. So, Shauna, back to you.
Tony, thank you. I understand a crash just happened at the scene where Bonnie Silkman is live in Beaverton, I believe in the Murray Hill area. Bonnie, this is a tricky area. Tell us what you saw. Apparently it just happened.
Hey guys, yeah, good morning. So yes, we're live in Beaverton. It is snowy and icy out here. We're at the bottom of a very steep hill. We're on Reigert and 175th. That black car, the SUV, I believe a BMW, was just coming down this hill that you're looking at. This is Reigert. It was coming down towards us. It looked like it was going pretty slow. And then the next thing I saw was it was facing the wrong direction, sliding down the hill backwards, and then it slammed into that ditch, and the power line right here to my right was shaking, and a big chunk of the car flew off, like a piece of the car went flying into the snow. It was really, really scary. We just watched it happen. Yeah, he's picking up that piece of the car that I saw fly out, and then this truck with the lights just pulled up to help this gentleman out. But it was really scary because from what I saw was the car was going pretty slow. I looked away for a second, looked back up, and it was sliding backwards down the hill and then slammed into that ditch. So that just goes to show you these hills are no joke, you guys. You might look out and see snow-packed roads. Well, under the powder, a couple inches of powder is ice, and it is really, really slick. You just really have to be careful. This is the other tricky spot we've been watching. If you know this hill, you know how steep and scary it is. This is 175th. At the top of the hill is a fire station with Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue. So it looks like we have a fire truck coming down the hill really slowly here. And earlier we watched a truck and its trailer fall backwards, sliding down the hill. If we want to show you that video, we have that ready. So this was the moment live about an hour ago when we watched that truck and trailer slowly slide down and then lose control, and then it backed up into the bushes and it slammed into a sign and knocked the sign over. Another really scary moment. So in about an hour and a half, we've seen 2 crashes happen at this very intersection. So we have the truck, the fire truck coming down. They're all chained up. They're good to go. But this road, I would definitely avoid it at all costs. We saw other cars going up in, traction tires, all-wheel drive, and they didn't have too many problems. But other trucks took one look at it, turned around, and went away. So there's a situation at the bottom of this hill on Reigert, and it looks like this gentleman is getting some help. But yeah, we just saw 2 pretty serious crashes, 2 pretty scary moments about an hour. So just be careful, stay home if you can. We're going to keep saying it all morning because people are clearly testing out the roads for themselves. And this guy now has a piece of his car he's carrying around. So that is not fun. So be careful out there, you guys, and don't trust these roads. That's for sure.
The other thing too, Bonnie, and as we have Tony here too, if we can bring his mic up, it's a good reminder that even if you have an SUV and even if you have good tires, you're not necessarily safe in these conditions, right?
Exactly, and the driver appears to be okay, which of course is great news. But for the next 6 months, he's going to be dealing with the insurance agent, the adjuster, the assessment of the car, repairs to the car. I mean, these things take a long time to
Yes.
resolve. And you can avoid it very easily if you have any choice at all about not going out. That's why you don't go out. You're not going to get hurt necessarily, but boy, it's going to change the next 6 months of your life, guaranteed.
I agree. And at one point earlier this morning, we saw a car. That car seems to be making its way up without a problem, but we saw a car with chains on it. Bonnie saw them pull over, put chains on, and they still had a hard time getting up the hill. So, boy, please be careful. We can't say it enough. If you do not have to be on these roads, please do not be on these roads. As Bonnie said, there's a layer of ice underneath that snow. And boy, as Tony mentioned, what a nightmare is in store for that driver. All right, Bonnie, thank you so much. And boy, just stay safe out there. Just make sure you're out of the way of any of those issues. We worry about our crews as well. All right, let's go over to meteorologist Katie Suniga and a look at what is happening. We're seeing some changes. Are things going to get better soon?
That's the direction that we are headed. You know, there's still a chance for a few sprinkles throughout the day, but really the bulk of everything, it's all passed on. We're just kind of seeing the remnants and kind of the leftovers. And the roads, as you can see, this is kind of a tour around the region. We have an 84 road there for you, an I-5 and a 30. All of these roads looking a little better, but we know that some of them, these are more main roads. Some of them are still icy. And if you look at that one at I-5, you can see an icicle right down the camera there. And we saw those cameras and the stoplights in Salem. So we know that things are not awesome out there yet, but they're definitely going to be improving. This is the first time I've seen some folks on the camera here. This is at Multnomah Falls. We've had, snow packed there, heading down into the gorge. This is at the Bridge of the Gods. That looks like it's clearing up a little bit. Temperatures still below freezing. So those roads not exactly in the best condition. Out at Hood River, we're definitely seeing those basically cleaning up a bit. And this is the direction we're heading. And then the worst conditions that we have still on the roads, but still better than the last time we checked these cameras. Here's where we're at the end. You'll notice the big bulk of the precipitation is gone. Still have some going through Pendleton, still have some there off to the east of Burns. But behind it, do you see there's these little trickles that are coming through in different areas? That's what you can expect if anything comes in today and into tonight. And as the temperatures warm, it will become more rain than anything else. Looking at everything from the metro to the north, you'll see that we still have some of this activity right through here, continuing to be a little snowy through the gorge as we go through the afternoon, and then a few showers just coming on shore there, of course, between Astoria and Manzanita. And then when you head to the south, where we've had that freeze warning that should be done here, if it's not already, at least by 10 o'clock, because it is starting to warm up. But did you see that little pink that came through? That's some freezing rain and snow. Bottom line is, we're not out of the woods yet. We're not in the clear, so to speak, but we are headed in that direction. As far as cycling, if you're headed out, at least through early afternoon when our temperatures are still above freezing for most of the region, might not be ideal to get out. But as the things start melting and stuff starts kind of, getting off of those roads, you'll get to a better position where if you do need to head out, whether on foot, in a car, or if you're a cyclist. Overnight temperatures will start to finally see like a slight warming trend that's happened since Wednesday. That's the direction we're going to keep going. With our temperatures, we're finally seeing more normal. Look at this, almost average in Baker City, and we were in some major negative degree temperatures there in Burns and Baker City, and then things are a bit more normal. The trend that we're going to see from all of these cold temperatures is back to average, and not just average, but warmer than that. You'll notice we get into the low 40s by the time we get through the weekend and the start of next week. Here's your 7-day forecast, also showing that we have rain returning tomorrow night through Sunday, tapering off Monday, a dry day Tuesday, and then some showers, rainy at times as we go through the middle of next week. Tony?
Thanks, Katie. Live look here along the Loop Road out at PDX, Portland Airport. Island, her photographer there. I didn't hop out for a flight to Hawaii. I saw them go by the departures. They kept going. But if you are heading out there, we did get an email from a viewer, maybe an hour and a half ago, saying that the lines at, the checkpoints and even pre-TSA were both very much longer than they had anticipated. So the roads aren't bad there. Again, we're still seeing some snow covering the pavement, but plenty of cancellations and some delays as well. So obviously you always want to check with your carrier before you head out there. But the route to and from shouldn't be too bad. Again, there's not a lot of traffic on the road, but it certainly is still a very, very snowy morning we're looking at, as you can see from that live shot. We'll have more coming up. First Live and Local right here on Good Day Oregon.
Welcome back. We continue our First Alert weather team coverage this morning. Fox 12's Mackenzie Richmond is live from the West Hills of Portland. Hi, Mackenzie. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, good morning. We have spoken with a few people, actually. I mean, West Hills is notoriously known for just being snow covered. It's a tough place to drive around, especially in Portland's winter weather. You just saw some cars driving by. They're not doing too bad right now. The road right here we are on Barnes Road. It's a little slick and slippery underneath, but there is a layer of snow on top, and you can see the very clear roads that have been paved by all the cars driving through, just like this one here. So it's making it a little bit easier for cars to drive. We have seen some slip and slide, but this, again, I want to note, is a main road. All of the side roads, all of those neighborhood roads, still completely covered with snow. They look somewhat like what I'm standing on right now, actually. We just spoke with the family just moments ago, truly, that we're heading to the airport, but because of the hill that they live on, they could not drive down, nor could anyone get up to them. So a mom and son, we actually have the video right now of the mom and son taking their suitcase and trekking down the hill all the way to the TriMet stop so that they could catch the bus and head to the airport so that they could actually catch their plane to the NBA All-Star game, something they said they could not miss even with all of the snow that they're seeing around their house and in the West Hills right now. So people are really making the trek. There's actually a guy next to us right now that just made the trek all the way to the grocery store. We've been watching him for a little bit, and he seems to have walked about a mile down. He's heading home now with some groceries. Hopefully that'll put him through for the next few days, and we see all this snow around here that's going to be sticking on the ground for a while. But conditions here in the West Hills are just as you would expect. They are kind of treacherous right now, especially on all those side little hills. And I do want to note, last thing, is that it is getting icy under here. It is really cold. I was slipping and sliding around here, and I was actually digging over here, and you can see that on top it might be powdery, but there are layers of ice underneath. So cars that are driving around on the paved roads that aren't groomed yet by the snowplows that have been driving around, this is what they're driving underneath on. So there's a thin layer of the powdered snow that we're seeing, but then there is ice underneath. So you need to drive safe, drive cautiously. Even if you think it's powder, there's a good chance that there's ice. So be safe out there. For now, reporting live from the West Hills, Mackenzie Richmond for Good Day Oregon.
Mackenzie, I am so glad you showed us that. That's really great information to have. Thank you so much. And as we get over to Katie, talking about that, even if you just thought, oh, it'd be fun to go take a walk in the snow today, keep in mind there are those patches of ice.
Yes, I've even seen folks out with snowshoes on, trying to keep their traction as they go through. I have those little things you hook on your boots that have the spikes underneath them, so I can even make it from my car here into the station because of this. We talked about those areas that aren't highly trafficked. Just want to make sure we're staying safe. Finally got some numbers for you for the mountain. If you've been wanting to know, we've had 9 new inches in the last 24 hours, which would be from yesterday morning at 5. And then since this morning, since we've started seeing the snow this morning, another couple of inches. So we've had some new snow, a little more for you today. If you look in the dark areas, you can see that there's still a little light snow falling up at the mountain. For your conditions across the passes, definitely snow-packed roads. I am starting to see a little more pavement, a little more asphalt there as you go through right here, but that was new for me since the last time I've seen it. And then same thing in rhododendron. But expect these roads to be snow-packed for you as you're going over today or tomorrow, especially because our snow levels stay right around pass level, meaning it's going to be cold enough to snow all the way down to this level. Anything that falls, that rain that we have coming through tomorrow and in Sunday into Monday, will be snow up at the mountain. So just keep that in mind if you have any traveling that you need to do. Beautiful here in Newport. Look at that, 43, calm, sunshine. This is a view for you of what is headed our way for just a little later today. We will make it into the low 40s here from the north of the metro all the way south into the valley, and we will see some sun breaks. Radar's picking up just the last of everything that you're seeing here. And then again, I mentioned those few showers. We could even see some later tonight before we get into tomorrow. So it's not going to be completely dry, but a bulk of everything we have been watching and waiting for and telling you that's been coming has moved on. Temperatures along the coast getting up into the upper 40s, mainly dry at this point. For the metro and valleys, we had, obviously the snow and ice this morning. Now we're drying out. Low 40s north to south, Kelso to Albany. Still a first alert day for you in the gorge. That snow is still out there, especially farther to the east past the Dalles. But we are looking at that ending and a warmer afternoon, but still in the 30s. No first alert day there for the mountain, just those snow-packed roads, and no first alert day for you on the eastern or central Oregon side of the Cascades. But snow has fallen on that side of the mountains as well. Here's your look at the 7-day forecast. Back to rainy, upper 40s, low 50s, a little warmer than normal, but what we would expect as we head into the second half of February. Tony?
Katie, back out to that hill there near 175th and Rygert where Bonnie is this morning. So kids sledding down there right now. I hope they're being supervised, looks like by an adult. But that's the exact same place we saw that car lose control. Yeah. So I mean, you got to be so careful. And I know it's tempting to get out there and have fun, and you should, but just really think about it. I mean, it does not take much for really bad things to happen in these conditions. So looks like that car did get up and on its way. So some good news there. A couple of cars there also at the top of the hill, maybe waiting it out or just kind of reassessing what they're doing or maybe reconsidering. But this has been a trouble spot throughout the morning. Bonnie witnessed 2 crashes within the space of about an hour up there in that area of Beaverton. By comparison, overall, much lighter traffic this morning than yesterday. We had so many problems yesterday, and a lot of it was just people out on the road who probably shouldn't have been out there, didn't have the right equipment. Today, we're having much fewer people driving, so that's definitely helping. And again, just wet roads there on the top deck of the Markham Bridge. Back to you.
Tony, I got an email from a viewer, Heather, who said she learned to drive in snow by telling herself there was a raw egg under the gas and brake pedals, and you don't want to break them.
Exactly.
So you're just very
gentle.
Yeah, gentle. Thank you, Heather, by the way, for that. All right, and thanks, Tony. Our first alert weather coverage continues after the break. First, though, we wanted to show you the conditions from our Travel Salem camera. We'll be right back.
Need an extra spring in your step? Hoka has it. We are talking about this amazing athletic shoe brand today with Jared Huber from Shoe Mill. Jared, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
You have all of these gorgeous Hokas here at your Bridgeport location. Tell me about the new styles.
We love Hoka because not only have they been able to continue to innovate with their comfort features, but their styling and their colorways. And some of the new ones that have come in are so fun, like the Bondi 9 that's just been released. The new colors, the new styling is just on point.
And the comfort is really unmatched. I'll never forget the first time I tried a pair of Hokas. It's like this marshmallowy cloud for your foot.
That's really what made them so popular, is that instant gratification. People can put them on and they really do know that they are in a really comfortable shoe. It doesn't take long. They have a lot of support, and if you need a stability shoe, they can do that too.
And I swear when I run in my Hokas, I get a little extra forward bounce.
Oh, you absolutely do. I mean, the sole is intended to help guide you through the step, but then propel you forward.
Tell me about the new styles.
Whether you need something that's just an easy all-day comfort shoe, something you can just do just about anything in, or have a trail shoe, or even a stability running shoe for somebody who needs a little bit more support, Hoka really does touch all the bases for just about every foot type.
And Hoka has these recovery slides now, and they are getting hot.
They really are. Not only are they cute, fun colors, everybody loves them, but they're actually really good for your feet. They have great support, they have great stability for a shoe that doesn't have a lot of stuff hanging on to you, and they're waterproof. You can take them right in the shower after a workout and not have to worry about being in the shower water.
The best way to find the perfect Hoka is to come into the store and have a Shoe Mill fit expert really find the perfect fit.
We like to make sure that not only the foot is prepared for the shoe that's going into, but the shoe is the right shape for that foot.
And you can try out Hoka free of any risk.
Our 365 plus 1 day guarantee means that you can take them home, you can wear them for any activity you want, and if they just don't work out, bring them back. No questions asked. We want to make sure that you get the best shoe for your application every time.
I also love all the accessories you carry here at Shoe Mill. Tell me about the socks.
So we carry a wide array of socks, but really it's about application. What are you going to use it for? Whether it's a true running sock that has all the characteristics of cushion and support and that features, we've got some wonderful socks.
And these socks last forever.
They really do. Machine wash and dry, no extra care needed. I suggest to buy more than one just so you don't have to match them.
Jared, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Shop local this season. Shop at Shoe Mill. They put the world at your feet.
Well, we know a lot of you have been enjoying the snow this morning. Fox 12's Joe Vithiathil is here now to share more of your great pictures and videos. Joe.
Yeah, Shauna, so this is Sammy, right? Actually, excuse me, this is some video actually that was submitted by James Sparks, our photographer. We got lots of great videos we want to show to you. James actually is out with Bonnie right now, but let's show you some of the other great pictures that we got here today. This is Sammy. Whoa. He's playing catch the snowball. Great action shot here.
Love
I want to thank Jackie Godwin for this picture. Of course, not every pet loves the snow, right? So with that in mind, meet Wyatt the Rhodesian Ridgeback, opting for a comfy day on the couch with a nice warm blanket, not to be outdone. So in a display of shameless self-promotion, we have, watch this, a cat.
Okay.
Watching a cat on Fox 12.
That's my Jet.
Is that Jet?
My cat.
Okay, so what we need now, Shauna, is we need someone to take a picture of this and send it to us so we can have a picture of a cat watching a cat watching a cat.
Yeah, I'll show it to Jet later today and hope for the best.
And
That's
then,
hilarious.
this is Herbie the cow right there in Beaver Creek.
So sweet.
We've had all sorts of animals, a different kind of animal every hour.
Yeah.
Not just four-legged friends, by the way, in the snow. Check out this video. So this is from the landmark Astoria column.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this. Austin Kettleson decided to do some skiing.
Wow.
You know that big hill in Astoria, right?
That's
watch this. So we sped up the video so you can get the entire run here.
Oh my
and just
gosh.
watch how far Austin goes. I think he ends up in Warrenton by the time this is over.
This is unbelievable.
Isn't this nuts?
Wow.
And you'll see here at the end, he comes up by a road. There's a car that went right by
that was
there.
Scary.
Wow.
I mean,
oh my
that's
goodness.
the adrenaline junkie of the day.
I mean, probably not the safest thing to do, but boy, pretty amazing to see.
Yeah, very much so. Hey, so a reminder, we'd love to see your pictures and videos.
Yeah.
You can submit them on our Fox 12 app. I do want to point out, every hour we've had a different kind of animal. We got another strange little snow creature coming up in our next hour. And you know how Kim made a snow horse?
Yes.
We have another snow animal to show you.
I cannot wait.
So the hits just keep coming.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for sharing, everybody. All right, let's get to Drew Reeves because you know what? It's Valentine's Day.
It is.
Many of you probably have plans and you're wondering if you need to cancel them. Let's talk about the weather as the day continues.
Yeah, as far as like dinner plans go, I think for the most part, you're going to be pretty safe out there. What we really expect to see this morning, obviously, roads are still very icy and frozen. Then as we get into this afternoon, temperatures are going to be above freezing and we'll get sun breaks in there. That's really going to help that melting begin. And then by tonight, we really see improved roads. Your Valentine's Day plans should be fairly safe. So here's kind of a breakdown there. We are giving the red light for this morning. Then by midday, kind of yellow. You need to just kind of watch the roads outside your house, see how they're looking. But a lot of the well-traveled roads are already starting to see some improvement, should be better by midday, and then mainly wet, just bare roads as we head into this evening. The good news, if maybe you had to work today and decided to put off the Valentine's Day plans until this weekend, we are back to normal once we get into tomorrow. We're just looking at some rain showers through tomorrow and Sunday, and those roads are going to continue to be bare. All right, we're going to be back with more Good Day Oregon coming up in our next hour.
Thanks for watching Fox 12 Oregon News. Watch us live wherever you are on our website, our mobile, and our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. First, live, local. This is a Fox 12 First Alert Weather Day.
Welcome to the 10 o'clock hour of Good Day Oregon on this First Alert Weather Day.
Yeah, we are keeping an eye on the roads and conditions for you this morning. From Portland to Vancouver, Deb just hopped out of a warm car just so she could stand there for you in Vancouver.
Who's the lucky guy who gets to work with 6 bright, incredibly talented women?
Right?
Happy Valentine's Day to me.
I'm assuming that was a compliment to us as well because you said 6 and there are 3 of us here. So we went ahead and took it that way.
Well, amazing.
Glad to work with you today.
We're the lucky ones. Good morning. I'm Kimberly Moss.
And I'm Shauna Parsons. Hey, happy Valentine's Day, by the way. It's a perfect day to snuggle up at home and celebrate the day. But before we get to Katie, just a reminder, boy, the roads are slick out there.
Yeah, check out this video out of Beaverton where Fox 12's Bonnie Silkman was monitoring the road conditions earlier this morning. This is about 8:20. That truck moving up the hill with a trailer behind it, the driver just couldn't make it and slid back down. Really tricky situation. The good news is he was not hurt.
He wasn't, and even just about an hour after that happened, she saw another crash in that exact same area. So very dangerous out there still. We'll get to Tony with more on the roads in just a moment. But first, Katie, people are wondering when they can sort of breathe and not be worried anymore on the roads.
Well, the good news is a majority of the precipitation is done. We're seeing a few little spotty pop-up things, but this is the site here in Seaside right now. This is what we're headed toward. We still have some slick conditions out there, as we were just talking about. Temperatures not out of freezing just yet, but we are headed that direction. So we'll get through all those details through this hour. Tony?
Yeah, with that transition, there's certainly lighter traffic this morning than we had yesterday. That's helping quite a bit. And again, the roads just back to wet pavement here on the area of the Glen Jackson Bridge. Still lots of snow, though, as you're about to see here in just a moment. Kim and Shauna, back to you.
All right, Tony, thank you. We do want to get back to that wild video we showed you just a few moments ago of, that truck with a trailer sliding backwards down a hill in Beaverton.
Yeah, it's so dangerous. This is one of those tricky situations where you think it's packed snow, but then it really becomes a dangerous scenario, and this car tried to turn right there and could not.
Fox 12's Bonnie Silkman was there. She watched it happen. She joins us now live. You've seen more than one incident out there this morning, Bonnie. How's it going?
Yeah, guys, we're in a really hilly area of Beaverton. We're at the bottom of the big hill on 175th and Rigert Road as well. So we're right at the intersection, 2 big hills here in Beaverton. And this place is a tricky spot, and I see why. This is my first time being out here this morning. We've seen cars struggling to get up and down these hills. Earlier, we saw a car coming down this hill and go backwards. Before that, I think we saw the video of the trailer. Let's show you that video again if we have it. This was around, I believe, 8 a.m. or so. We saw a truck going up the hill with a trailer hitched to the back. It started slowly sliding backwards down 175th Avenue, and then it crashed into the bushes, and it took out a sign. It was very loud and very scary. The driver was okay. He gave us a wave. He said, "Oh my goodness, was that on live TV?" And I said, "Yes, I'm so sorry, it was." So, he shook it off. He was a little embarrassed, but he was okay, and he got out of here okay. Now, this other hill we're looking at, this is Rigert. I believe we have the video to show you. And then it crashed into the ditch. It shook the power line. A piece of the car popped off, and that driver is okay as well. But that was all within about an hour and a half of each other. So we watched those 2 accidents happen. So that just proves the point that, yeah, if you can stay home, you should. You might see the powder on the roads and think, oh, this is okay, but there is ice underneath it. It is starting to warm up a bit, so it's starting to get a little meltier, which could create kind of more ice. So it really depends on where you are, but you just can't trust these roads. And this is a snow zone, so traction tires or chains are required. And even with those things, people are struggling out here. So keep it safe and slow out here. For now, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
And Bonnie, Tony made a good note that was all-wheel drive. That's a car that really should be great in the snow and wasn't in that scenario. So thank you for showing that to us.
Yeah, roads are slick in other places too. We often see tricky spots in the West Hills of Portland.
Fox 12's Mackenzie Richmond joins us live from there with more on that this morning. Hi, Mackenzie.
Good morning. Yeah, Bonnie's, of course, in the hilly parts of Beaverton. I'm here in the West Hills in Portland, another hilly area around our region and a very tricky spot for drivers. You can see these drivers around us right now are driving quite a bit under the speed limit right now because of the icy and slick conditions here. On Barnes Road is what you're looking at right now, completely snow covered. There is some tracks that you can see from where the cars have been driving throughout the morning, but we haven't seen as much traffic as potentially you would normally see on a normal weekday during this work hour. But there are a few cars, few and far between, that you can see. There's been some cars that have been slipping and sliding. We're mostly seeing that though when they're turning, when they're making turns, they're kind of fishtailing around. Thankfully, though, no one has crashed into each other here in the West Hills like they have been in Beaverton. I do want to mention, though, that that is a main road, but this hill here, like many of the side streets here in the West Hills area, completely covered with snow. We've actually seen now 2 families have to trek down this hill to go do their chores. One family, a mom and a son, were heading to the airport. They couldn't get out with their car, so they just decided to walk down to the bottom of the hill and catch transportation from down here. Another couple walked down with their dog. They said that they haven't been able to go to work, and this happens to them every single year, so they're just used to it by now. We also saw another man walk from his house to get groceries. So, I mean, truly it is something that people here in the West Hills expect, but if you don't have to drive, do stay home. If you do, then please take it cautiously and slowly so that you can stay safe here. For now, reporting live from the West Hills, Mackenzie Richmond for Good Day Oregon.
All right, Mackenzie, thank you.
We know those of you in Southwest Washington saw snow as well. We want to go to Vancouver to see what the conditions are like there.
Yeah, let's get to Deborah Gill.
Yeah, a complete 180 from yesterday. This was pretty much a mess, according to WSDOT yesterday. Lots of crashes. Nothing today. It's been almost worry-free here in Vancouver. People are driving. The traffic has really picked up and increased in the last hour or so. Just having no problems here. Snow on the roads, though, of course, means a much slower drive, but fewer people are out. And that makes it easier for everyone. People we talked to say today is way better than they expected.
Not too bad on foot. Definitely a bit snowed in the neighborhoods, but it looks like, yeah, they've been clearing out the road here. So, yeah, looks like people are still getting around.
And some people actually ventured out today to get their groceries, saying yesterday their store was without power. Now everyone is just hoping that that freezing rain doesn't materialize, or as it gets warmer today, that some of this melts and then turns to ice overnight, because then, of course, that could cause some problems for people later today. Reporting live in Vancouver, Deborah Gill. Good Day, Oregon.
Deb, thank you.
All right, it's baby's turn, or should I say babies. Take a look. We have all these little bundles of joy. Look at that little itty bitty one on a sleigh. Oh my goodness, little snow angel. Oh, I love seeing your kids all bundled up and enjoying, in some cases, their very first snow.
Look at that.
Look at those little earmuffs.
I think that's next year's Christmas card.
Cute. Oh, I agree.
Right?
Oh my gosh, wonderful. You know what? How about send out like a spring card this year, just showing these pictures, because how can you, okay, that caption on that one said asleep. That little bitty baby was asleep on the sled. Okay, we love it. We love to get your pictures. We love your videos of you enjoying the weather. Please submit them via our Fox 12 app so we can enjoy them too. Love it.
I was hoping we'd get to see a picture of little Enzo in a snowsuit. So
Camilla.
I know.
That's Camilla's new baby.
Yes, our Camilla Ortiz. I want to see little Enzo in one. It's the snow globes, or the igloos, out at Turner at the Willamette Valley Vineyard camera, still sporting that snow for you. Temperatures still in the low 30s. Now, we haven't seen any new precipitation here for a bit, and the clouds are finally starting to thin out. And then just a little farther up the freeway, we're in the mid 30s. So the conditions there that have been pretty frozen are starting to warm a little. Hopefully we'll be able to get out of that deep thaw, or get into that deep thaw, I should say, here as we go through the rest of the afternoon. A majority, you can see here on radar, of the big push of moisture that we've had, that was all across the region, snow, freezing rain, ice pellets, everything has moved on. Still some scattered showers in different areas, a little left here going up the Cascades, but for the most part, we're seeing things on the drier side. The freezing rain, we had that ice storm warning. It did finally expire. We expected it to go until 10, and there you see it is gone. So we're not expecting to see any new areas. Not completely out of the woods. There are some places that you can see in the hilly areas that possibly could have a little something else through tonight or tomorrow morning, but nothing that's actually within, you know, those roads that we see that are most heavily traveled. So it looks like we're doing okay. What we do and what we look for when we're telling you all the difference between freezing rain, ice pellets, and snow, and regular rain, like just liquid rain, it has to do with those temperatures. And the ice pellets, the ones that I had on my car coming from the hotel up the street into the station this morning, was going tick, 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 on the window, that's when you have a thin melting layer, a thin warm layer, somewhere in where there's enough cold air below it to kind of refreeze the drops. When you get the freezing rain, your melting layer is a little deeper and it just freezes on contact. So that's the difference between the ice pellets and the freezing rain. If you're, again, a little confused as we talk through all those different types of precipitation that we've been having. Starting to warm up, finally in the low 30s in the Portland area, upper 20s as you head out to the east, low 20s in Madras, and then look at that, mid 20s in Baker City and Burns, upper 30s to mid 40s at the coast. So you can see we are all warming up. This is the direction we want to go to get ourselves out of the deep, the freezing and get into some melting areas. So there's your temperatures across the region for today, depending on where you are. We're all pretty much above freezing with the coldest just off to the east at Baker City. And then we get into a pattern where it's just rainy at times, milder temperatures, and no freezing overnight. Tony?
Thanks, Katie. A live look from the Jackson School overpass. We're across this Highway 26. A little bit of blue sky, and it feels like I haven't seen the sun for like months. I know it hasn't been that long, but it's just such a welcome sight and really will facilitate, the thawing of some of the roadway that you see there. It's already breaking up a little bit. Of course, this is an overpass, so encouraging to see that it's getting better, but still a lot of snow here, much more than we've had recently. So just keep that in mind if you are heading out the door and onto area roads. They are getting better. We're seeing some clear improvements. But, at the same time, many areas, perhaps more than are clearing, still have a lot of snow covering them. And it won't be till later this afternoon when we really begin to see that all catch up and see some really rapid improvement. So right now, light traffic conditions are getting better, but not quite there just yet. Back to you.
All right, Tony, thank you.
Yeah, that view gives me a little bit of hope, Tony. Our first alert weather day team coverage continues here on Good Day Oregon.
As we go into a break, a live look from our Shriners Children's Portland camera. We'll be right back.
Well, I've mentioned it this morning that I had a flight. I was actually supposed to fly to California to see my parents yesterday at 5:30 in the evening. My flight got canceled. I'm definitely not the only one. So many flights canceled or delayed.
Dozens of flights impacted yesterday at PDX. Lots of problems, as you had seen with the accident, the big crashes that we had in the gorge yesterday. Visibility was an issue. They had ice. There were so many problems, and I know that we're really trying to get a handle on things at the airport. They have long lines now because of the delays.
Absolutely, yep. And so we, moving on from the airport, we'll have more on that in a moment, but first we want to get to Mia Villanueva, who's live for us. Mia, where are you, and what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, Shauna, we are on Northwest Jackson School Road. We just got off of 26th West. So right behind me here is Hillsboro. I'm so happy the sun is out. I didn't think I would ever see it again. Mark Nelson's blog last night, I read it, and it said something about, hey, don't cancel your Friday night plans. This is all going to melt away. And we are finally seeing that happen. Take a look at 26 East and West. You can see snow melted now off both east and westbound 26, just some slush in the road. So looks like that's finally clearing out for drivers. Kind of messy and gross, but should not impact you when you're out on the road there. Take a look over here. The slush is a lot thicker, I guess, over on like side streets like this, like on Northwest Jackson School Road, once you exit the freeway. So keep that in mind if you're out here. It's kind of messy. For everyone watching at home, though, I know a lot of kids at home are home on a snow day. This snow is melting quickly, guys, so some parents who are all cozy may be mad at me for saying this, but it's kind of now or never to go sledding because this snow is melting away quickly now that the sun is out, so it looks like we're finally almost out of the woods, guys.
Yeah, it is nice to see those little bright spots out there. Mia, thank you.
All right, let's turn back to Katie now and take a look because we know many of you are focused on the forecast as we go into the weekend. And this is a welcome sight, the blue sky here.
And I just want to remind you that it was just barely more than 24 hours ago that the snow started. So we haven't even been in this storm for just a little more than 24 hours. And on Wednesday, so just the day before yesterday, we had bright sunny skies, not a cloud to go around. It was still chilly, but it was bright and sunny out there. And then yesterday morning hit, and now just a little more than 24 hours later, this is what we're dealing with. Back to sunny skies, and that's where we're headed. Want to show you that our winter storm warning was supposed to be done at 10 is done. But do you notice that we still have activity headed out into the gorge, and we were expecting things to stay snowy. We did have your first alert day for the gorge for today as well, but everything that you see here in the metro surrounding areas all the way up, there were some that went up into Kelso and then down, not along the coast there, but just right up to it, and then everything south in the valley has all cleared up. You'll still see some advisories in place as you head up those west slopes and then over to the other side of the Cascades, because we're not really done on that side. That's where everything's at right now. But as far as what impacts that we have to the coast range, the metro, to the north, to the south and out, that's all moved on, and you see all of that precipitation. Everything is off to our east. We're now getting into this ridge. There'll be a brief calm time between now and maybe a few sprinkles tonight, a few tomorrow, and then tomorrow afternoon when we begin to see into the evening more showers returning that stay with us tomorrow night, Sunday and Monday. This is that brief dry period or calmer period, and then this is right here where we start to see some activity Saturday night, tomorrow night into Sunday. Then that moves on and we're back into our Tuesday where we have this blocking ridge that keeps us a bit more calm, and this right now most likely will be our warmest day. So all of this has moved on. We're done. There were a few showers that popped up going into the evening here and there, but we're warm enough that it will be just rain. Getting into tomorrow morning, any showers that come through the metro, the valleys, or even heading out to the coast there, you see to the north, that's all warm enough for some showers. And then we get into tomorrow night around 7 o'clock, and you can see all the way, all across the region there up to the mountains where the snow is, and then the rain stays in the valleys, and that's what we get all the way through until Monday. So we'll be keeping track of the snow up on the top of the mountain and those showers down for us, because once it starts Saturday, stays pretty wet through Sunday, starts breaking up Monday. Then there's that Tuesday where we see a little more sunshine, a little drier conditions, and then another round coming in on Wednesday. So rainy at times as we head through the middle toward the end of next week. Your temperatures back to the low 40s today, that slow warming trend that gets us to those low to mid 50s by Tuesday. And then we hang out upper 40s, low 50s again through the middle of the week. And then the all important overnight temperatures that help the freeze, stay away is that we're back into the low 40s, and we stay there all the way through midweek with that as well. Tony?
Thanks, Katie. Traffic much lighter this morning than it was yesterday. That's really helping move things along much more smoothly. Yesterday we had a lot of problems, fewer today. Last night we were here, and the Chariots bus service in Salem announced they were suspending service for today and would resume on Saturday. They can, obviously reassess that. We'll be checking to see if they have, but that's how it stands right now. In just a few moments, we'll be checking in with Tia York from TriMet to see how the public transportation is working here in the Portland area this morning. But again, highways looking a lot better, as you can see there along the Sunset past 217. Kim, back to you.
Boy, much improved. Tony, thank you. Our first live local team coverage on this First Alert Weather Day continues after the break. First, a live look from our Mount Hood Ski Bowl camera. You're watching Good Day. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. You are looking at a live picture from PDX. This is I believe, the security line, or people waiting for maybe the kiosks to get checked in. Very, very busy. The winter weather causing serious delays, lots of flights. Oh, this is the TSA line. So this is how long that TSA line is. My goodness. Lots of people scrambling to, rebook flights that were canceled yesterday. Delays both yesterday and today, and cancellations. So quite a mess. If you have a flight today, almost 20,000 delays. Is this across the country, Janie? 20,000 or just in Portland? They're across, sorry, I'm getting this information as we speak here live on the air, but to say the least, lots of delays, lots of cancellations. If you are heading to the airport, you definitely want to get there early and just double check that your flight is still on before you show up, because boy, that is quite a TSA line. My goodness. Welcome back, everybody. And we do want to get over to Drew now, and we want to look at the snow totals, because really, when you look at the numbers, it's created quite a mess, Drew.
Yeah, it really has, and it's just about what we were expecting, that 2 to 4 inch range. Most of us kind of right around 3 to 3.5 inches. That's what we're seeing from southeast Portland up into southwest Washington, around Battleground, Vancouver, Gresham area. A couple spots maybe closer to that 2 inch range, but we're certainly seeing a lot. What we saw yesterday, officially 1.3 inches at PDX. Of course, we'll add today's total. No freezing rain or ice measurable as of last night. These reports come daily, so we'll see what this afternoon says, but we'll certainly have seen a little bit of accumulation. But our 10th consecutive winter now that we have seen measurable snowfall. It seems like it can be fairly hit or miss in Portland, but for the last 10 years, we've certainly hit as far as the snowfall goes. Some lighter years, this being maybe on the lighter side, but February, not always a guarantee that we see that snow. Those are really hit and miss, kind of some really snowy ones like 2023, 2021, or many Februaries that we haven't seen any snow at all. Big picture for your Valentine's Day this morning, those roads still frozen, still icy, maybe just now starting to melt, especially like those freeways that we've really seen traveled. Those are certainly getting that melting, but lots of side roads still very icy. This afternoon, our temperatures are going to be above freezing. That melting really starting to begin as those temperatures climb. And then once we get into tonight, we're going to see some really improved roads for your Valentine's Day. Your plans for tonight, dinner plans or maybe late night plans are certainly going to be a much better bet. So I think if you have those dinner reservations, you don't need to call and cancel. We should be really getting those roads melting off pretty well. And then as we head into the weekend, maybe you have your Valentine's Day plans for tomorrow or Sunday. Much, much better even there. We're just going to see some rain showers, and we shouldn't drop below freezing in Portland tonight, so that means the thaw will continue through the night. Shauna.
Such great news for our local restaurants if they don't have to cancel those Valentine's Day dinners. That is wonderful. Thank you. I like that romantic Valentine's Day graphic, too, behind the rose petals floating. All right, let's get back with Fox 12's Mackenzie Richmond live in the West Hills.
Yeah, we're first live local from one of Portland's most treacherous snow zones. After the break, I'll give you a closer look at the road conditions here in the West Hills.
First, live, local. This is a Fox 12 First Alert Weather Day.
Good morning and welcome once again to Good Day Oregon. I'm Kimberly Moss.
And I'm Shauna Parsons, along with Katie and Tony. Listen, Kim and I sat together for 7 hours yesterday on the set, and then we still have to text each other at the end of the day because it's clearly not enough time. And Kim sent me a picture yesterday or last night.
I was horsing around in the snow.
Very cute. Very cute weather related.
It's my snow horse.
I love it. How tall is that?
It's only, you know, it's under a foot tall, but truth be told, those legs were so hard to do, so my husband went into the shop and cut 4 pieces of wood that I formed snow around to make the legs.
I can't get
Your horse has a skeleton.
I had no idea it was so big.
It's almost a foot tall.
Did we get to ride him?
No, but you know why? His head fell off 2 or 3 times, so I had to put it back on. So he's a little fragile.
I would like to see how he's doing now that we're warming up a little.
I'll take a picture for you when I get home.
Yes.
Probably just the wooden legs still standing at the time.
And the straw just just laying on the ground. Well, we are thawing out in some areas, so I know this is good. And roads are actually starting to look good in some areas. In fact, in Salem right now, this is a live look at that Travel Salem camera, and it looks pretty good down there. I mean, look at the temperatures. They're in the mid-30s, so anywhere that people are driving, things are getting thawed out. Not quite there yet, but look, there's some sunshine in Portland. Tony?
Yeah, hey, thanks, Katie. Not looking too bad here. Most area roads are seeing some pretty good improvement. There's one car, looks like it's abandoned there on I-5 southbound approaching the area of Capitol Highway. Haven't seen a lot of those. We do have Tia York from TriMet on the line. When I get a quick chat with her and just get an assessment of how things are going. Tia, I'm hoping you were able to stay home safe and work from home this morning, yes?
Yes, I've been very fortunate in staying very warm.
Well,
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah, glad to hear that.
But,
you
know, TriMet, TriMet's frontline employees, our bus operators, our rail operators are out there trying to provide service today. And we do have service running throughout our community this morning, bus and MAX service. We do encourage riders to expect delays. Buses went out with chains this morning, the heavy duty chains, which means they can travel no faster than 25 miles per hour. Some bus lines have been suspended. Most of those are the high elevation lines. You know, if you live in a high elevation area, your bus line may have been suspended due to road conditions. So please go to trimet.org/alerts before you head out, and you can go line by line and see which lines are affected by this weather. Quickly want to touch on MAX. MAX service is running throughout our service area. All 5 MAX lines are up and running. We have a little bit of a switch issue at the Steel Bridge, which we're working to address, but riders can still get across the Steel Bridge. They just have to make a transfer. So all TriMet buses and MAX service is out there today. It's running a little more slowly. We're happy to be out there providing service to our community. We just ask for their patience during these.
Yeah, and see, on a morning like this where we're seeing some improvement, you know, and it's gradually getting better, who makes the call about when to take the chains off the bus? Is that up to the driver, or does that happen further up the command chain?
That's a good question. And I would have to look into the exact, I would expect that drivers would report into dispatch that they are on dry pavement and it's time to remove the chains. But I'd have to look into exactly the chain of events that go in, that occur with that call.
Yeah. But suffice to say, buses and trains are running. Have patience, check the alerts before you go, and you should be fine. So yeah, nice visiting with you again, Tia, and have a great, safe day. Guys, back to you.
All right, Tony, thank you very much.
We do have First Live local team coverage continuing on this First Alert Weather Day. We really have been trying to show you conditions all across the area.
Yeah, we want to get to Deborah Gill, who is in Vancouver. Deb, it's really been just a pretty scene there this morning as you've seen people walking around. And as you were saying earlier, if you're going to get out and play in the snow, this is a place to do it.
It really is, and you guys aren't going to believe this. I'm actually looking at a sunbreak, and I'm actually seeing some blue sky peeking between the clouds. So yeah, it is improving rapidly here. Snow was falling very steadily all morning until maybe about 7:30, and then it just stopped. And it seems to have been a pretty easy day for everyone here in Southwest Washington. No real issues. So with schools out today on a snow day, many offices closed. Yeah, the morning commute has been very light. It's really picking up now. The snow buildup on surface streets and freeways, of course, meant everyone driving more slowly, including those transit buses like Tony was just talking about that do have chains on the tires. People we talked to say driving, though, early on still concerned them.
It's nice. Kind of iffy about driving, but yeah, I have to get to work.
Yeah, there were some people that still had to go to work. They did not get the day off. We talked to some others who finally ventured out on foot today because yesterday they say their grocery store was without power and they couldn't get anything. So now we're just hoping that this stays this way, the sun continues to come out and melt everything, and that it doesn't refreeze and cause real issues later on, right? Reporting live in Vancouver, Deborah Gill, Good Day, Oregon.
Oh, Deb, great coverage from you this morning. Yeah. Thank you so much. We want to continue now from the West Hills of Portland.
That's where we find Fox News' Mackenzie Richmond, keeping an eye on things. Boy, you grew up in that area. You were stuck up there yourself as a kid.
As she smiles.
Off and on. Yeah, I mean, you're really the person, the local person to bring us all that information from that area. Mackenzie.
Oh yeah, it's bringing back so many memories, and all the folks we've actually spoken with this morning, they have similar memories now to what I had growing up here almost a decade ago at this point. People that we've spoken with say that they're all stuck in the hills. They've all been trekking down their hills that are not groomed by the snowplows that we've seen throughout this morning. I was trying to see if there was one coming by now, but we do have some traffic coming by now. But, I mean, they have been trekking down the hills, we saw one family, a mom and a son, walking down a huge hill with their suitcase in hands to make sure that they didn't miss the NBA All-Star game that they had. They're heading to PDX right now. We've seen people head down the hills to walk about a mile to the closest grocery store because truly no one can leave their homes right now. And this is a common problem in the West Hills. I remember it all the way back from when I was growing up, and people are still dealing with it today. So, I mean, take a look at the conditions, though. You saw a few cars drive by. It has been few and far between this morning. Nothing like a typical weekday when you would see dozens of cars on the road. People are staying cautious. There has been enough cars on the road this morning, though, to cause that pathway that you see, the sludge on the road, kind of taking it down right now. But there's still icy conditions. It's important to note that. And if you do have to get out, then make sure that you are taking it slow and steady. For now, reporting live, Mackenzie Richmond for Good Day Oregon.
All right, Mackenzie, thank you.
You know, with our very cold temperatures, Multnomah County has 8 emergency shelters open to help people in need.
Yeah, we talked to Sarah Hurwitz with Multnomah County. She says they really need volunteers in order to keep the shelters open.
We are in a really important, it's kind of a dire, urgent need right now. It's an important message from Multnomah County. We are in an urgent need of volunteers to help staff 2 of our new shelters that are opening tonight. We need 50 people to fill the spots between 7 to 8 hours and into tomorrow morning as well. So just a really important message to the community and push. If you can help, we need the help. And if we don't get enough volunteers, we might actually have to potentially close these sites, not be able to open them at all, or have to close them early.
If you would like to sign up or learn more, we have information on the Fox 12 News app.
All right, let's get to Katie now as we take another look at our forecast and the big picture here.
Yes, so what we've had this morning, we've all been experiencing is the icy frozen roads. We're now just starting to transition from this period to this afternoon where we're starting to see temperatures getting above freezing and that melting beginning. And then tonight, everything should be improved. We're not expecting at least the metro area and the valleys to drop below freezing. We do have some cloud cover, which helps keep us a little warmer, but we'll either be at or just right around that. But we should be able to keep things from refreezing, at least very solid tonight. Looking at a few roads across the region, we have one at 84, one on 5, and one on 30, showing that everything is really starting to clear up, which is just exactly what we were anticipating with those road conditions. But keep in mind, just as you saw where Mackenzie was, those outlying roads, the ones that aren't the heavily traveled ones, they still have some pretty treacherous conditions, especially the hills and the places that don't see the sunlight. Although the majority of the moisture has gone through and we're definitely done with it, there are some showers that are popping through in different areas. You can see them coming through. We have a chance for a few more later today, a few more later tonight, and then even seeing showers pick up again tomorrow evening. For now, just a couple showers here and there. Everything is pretty clear. A majority of what is headed up the mountain has finished up, and then when you head down south in the valley, you'll see the same thing. We're pretty much done. Little pop-ups, little freezing rains here and there. So don't be expecting to be completely dry, but no consistency in the showers or snow or freezing rain. Going into the early parts of the afternoon, we're going to see those side roads and areas that, you know, sidewalks or the bridges and those kind of things, especially the more heavy traveled ones, picked up. For now, through late afternoon, everything would be probably not ideal, and then transitioning to a better place for those of you that maybe want to get out on a bike or out on, you know, I've seen some e-scooters out, things like that. Overnight temperatures have been in the below the 30s, I should say, for the last 4 days. Yes, we are going to transition out of that. Here are your low temperatures for today, and I have to say, it makes me very happy to see, although they're still below average and still very cold, those frigid temperatures are done, and we're seeing things warming up toward us here in the Metro Valleys and along the coast. Very cold. Our coldest night of the winter so far was going into Wednesday morning. This is changing for us. We should have another chilly night to night, not quite as cold, obviously not in the 20s, but then we warm into those low 40s for several days, which is great. Not seeing anything but a chance for a few showers. You'll see some right here. You see those around, and then you'll see a continuation of those showers. This is tomorrow, 7, 8, 9 o'clock going into the evening. You'll notice all rain and all snow. So quite a few of you who want to keep that snow up at the mountain. What comes over the next several days is what we get. Snow levels stay at pass level all the way through this weekend, which is where you see a majority of the rain on Sunday into Monday. So rain for us, snow at the mountain, back to normal, even slightly warmer with our temperatures getting into the low 50s by the beginning of next week. Tony?
Thanks, Katie. A live look from Vancouver, looking towards the interstate bridge. Some blue sky there in the background. But here on this ramp from SR 14 coming in towards downtown Vancouver, that ramp was completely covered in snow and ice when we started the show. And for most of the morning, but in the last hour or two, you've seen it kind of break up a little bit. So yet another sign of improvement, but of course, at that same time, you can see all that snow along the side of the road where there hasn't been traffic and that kind of a thing. So definitely in that transition period, but a little ways to go before we're completely clear. Much lighter traffic this morning than we had yesterday. That is definitely helping keep things move along here. Kim and Shauna, back to you.
All right, Tony, thank you.
So many of you at home have been keeping us entertained all morning long.
We have absolutely loved it. You've been sharing great pictures and videos of your pets. Look at this.
I love that.
And your kids, darling. Oh my gosh, look at that little snowman there. All new at 10, we found some more unusual animals enjoying the snow. And so I love these pictures. We're going to share them next. Keep it right here.
Well, the snow has stopped falling, but it is not stopping problems on the roads.
Boy, Fox 12's Bonnie Silkman has been live at a real trouble spot in Beaverton. You're in the Murray Hill neighborhood, right, Bonnie? And it's a very hilly area.
That is all correct, Shauna. Very good. Yes, we are live in Beaverton at the bottom of two very steep hills, and this has been a tricky spot all morning because of the snow and because of the ice on this Valentine's Day. The sun is starting to come out right now. It's kind of the first time I've seen it all morning, so I think now it's time for the great melt. The meltdown. If you look over here in the road, you can see all the slushy, dirty snow starting to collect. I know that can be a problem for like a lower clearance vehicle. So that's something we're going to see, I think, more and more of as the sun comes up. But yes, we did see some problems out here this morning. There's no cars really passing by right now. But if you take a look at this video, you're going to see a truck and a trailer slipping and losing control and rolling backwards down 175th Avenue. Eventually, okay, I think we have video of the second crash. We saw 2 crashes. The second crash we saw the tail end of, and that BMW was rolling down Reiger, this hill behind me, and you can see a piece of the car just popped off. It rolled backwards. It was really scary to watch into the ditch, and they got towed out of there, and they're doing just fine. I'm not sure if we have the other video to show you, but we did watch a truck and its trailer, really scary moment, kind of roll backwards, slipping and losing traction down 175th. That's a huge hill over here. And then it smashed into the bushes and took out a sign. And that's because underneath the snow is definitely ice. Like, it looks like really nice powder, but then if you get under there, there is some slick ice under there. So you got to be careful. So yeah, now it's starting to get really slushy as the sun comes out. The melting, I think, is definitely starting. So we're going to keep our eyes peeled, but I think drivers, they're proceeding with caution, which is a good thing. And I think a lot of people are staying at home too, which is great. For now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Bonnie, thank you.
Well, the snow and ice, of course, causing problems for people on our local roads today.
Yeah, let's get to Io Elise. She is headed toward the Gresham area. Io, good morning.
Yeah, that's right. So we are here on Airport Way and we are heading towards Gresham, and we're starting to notice that the snow is melting. So it's turning into like a slushy, dirty, melty kind of situation here, and we're able to drive around 40 miles per hour. So we're doing okay on the roads here, and it seems like the folks driving alongside us are taking the same precautions as well. Now, we've been on the road since around 7:30 this morning, and when we were on South 217, the roads didn't look quite as trafficked or as traveled. But as we started traveling south, the roads seemed to clear a little bit more. As we came back up north, we started to notice the roads starting to look a little bit more like this. So if you're heading out on the roads today, just be aware that a little farther south, the roads looked a little bit more traveled, a little bit more cleared. But as you're traveling a little bit more north, it's getting a little bit more snowy. So be prepared for that. But for now, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Io.
Thank you so much.
Well, many of you have been sending in pictures of your families, your furry friends, enjoying the winter weather.
That's right. Fox 12's Joe Vithiathil is here now to share more of your photos and videos. Can we just say thank you, though?
Yeah.
Because we love that you have done this. Oh, my goodness.
And we've had so many, and we also kind of want to say sorry because we got hundreds and hundreds. We don't have time to show them all. We do want to thank you all for sharing them. And we're going to hopefully show more throughout our later newscasts on Good Day Oregon. But we want to start with this picture. So from Kim Harney, these good boys and girls are from Oregon Dog Rescue.
6 of those are hers.
Wow. What?
6 of those are hers. I asked her. She said 6 of them are hers. Can you believe that?
My goodness. Okay, well.
I would imagine.
Valentine's Day
I would
to
imagine
Kim.
those 2 on the left are just visiting for a play date.
Well, here's my takeaway. I mean, this is my takeaway. Is like these are the most calm dogs I've seen in any of the pictures than really any of the dogs we've seen this morning, the last few days. So,
isn't that amazing?
Thank you, Kim, for that.
Yeah.
And boy,
great.
Oh my goodness, get her some doggy treats for Valentine's Day, I suppose, right? Of course, there's lots of kids out there enjoying the snow, so we want to show some of those. Here's Brandy. She submitted this picture of Liam.
Oh, so cute.
She says this is Liam's very first snowman ever.
Oh, wow.
He did a great job.
It's
Way to go,
adorable.
Liam.
Look at Liam's little rosy cheeks.
Nice
I
job.
wonder if he does. Now, there's lots of snowy creations out there. Now, earlier, Kim, you showed us a snow horse that you made, right?
Yes.
Well, check this out.
Very talented.
Frank submitted. He calls this an albino wolf.
It looks like one.
Huh? Yeah,
That's
it kind
amazing.
of looks like something you'd see on Game of
You know
Thrones.
what?
Or something
Great
like that.
job. I'm telling you, the ears are the hardest part. That was great.
Yeah, so
Well done.
Very impressive. Now, outside of snow creatures, today we've shown you some real life animals in the snow. Okay, we've shown you dogs, cats, deer, bunnies, a llama, a cow, and a tortoise.
What do you have now?
We got another critter for our snowy menagerie. So normally, of course, peacocks are associated with another network. We're not going to say which one. But we were happy to have this one right here on Fox 12. We want to thank Craig Walter for this submission.
Wow.
It's been quite a day for viewer photos. I did not have a peacock or tortoise on my snow animal bingo card. I don't know about you. Finally, earlier, Shauna and Drew, they showed pictures of their pets in the snow. So I want to keep the pet nepotism thing
there we
going
go.
here.
Only
so
fair.
here's my girl, Ruthie. Yeah. Ruthie has been kind of mad on the whole snow thing, quite honestly. I got this picture from her mom, who I happen to be married to.
You know, well, I have to say, Ruthie's a compact little dog. She is so darling. She's not as big as she looks in that picture. She is a love bug.
Was she sitting here like, fine, take my picture so I can go back in the house, please?
So here's the deal. She gets very excited to go out in the snow. Then you open the door, and then after about 2 seconds, she's done with it.
Yeah.
Which is, honestly, that's how her dad feels about it, too. So it's kind of a family trait.
Yeah.
So anyways, we want to give a shout out to everyone that sent us pictures. You can still do that, by the way. I think we're going to show more in our noon newscast as well.
Yeah.
Go to the Fox 12 News app to submit those photos and videos.
Well, don't leave, because speaking of thinking you want to go outside and you don't, I got to show this video of my cat, Jet.
Oh, okay.
So he really wanted to go out. He took one step, and he's like, no, no, no.
I love that one paw print right
if you
there.
look, I kind of zoom in on the paw print. I'm like, there it is. It's perfect. And then he was just like, forget this. I'm out.
I get it.
Good.
Yeah, he is a great little one-eared cat. Just love him. And earlier you showed a picture of a cat watching this.
And that was Jet.
Yeah, and that was Jet. So I have asked for that clip because I'm going to put it on my Instagram.
You
so
should.
stay tuned for that. But
Sweet little Jet.
Little Jetty.
I don't blame you, Jet.
King Jet. Love it. Thank you, Joe, by the way. Those were so great.
All right, Katie's taking us up to the mountain where we love to see snow.
And we have been getting it. So yesterday we had 9 inches. Since this morning, we've had another couple, so we've been getting some good snow up there. Nothing that was worth a first alert weather day for the Cascades or the passes or anything like that. Pretty much what you would expect. So it's been nice new snow, great snow up there for the skiers and snowboarders and sledders and tubers and all the ones who want to go up and enjoy that. And we do have more on the way. The most important thing is to know that the roads are yet again covered. They're definitely clearing up a bit. You can see some spots where drivers have gone as we saw the sun coming up this morning and the cameras were working. It was just whiteout conditions all the way across the roads. We had no bare spots. So we're starting to see that, but just be expecting those snow-packed roads for today and tomorrow, and actually through most of the weekend. When the rain returns for us, it's snow up at the mountain, and we'll see that all the way through Saturday and Sunday into Monday, where we're expecting there to be some precipitation. Tuesday should be dry, and then some more showers going in Wednesday, Thursday, but then you'll notice snow levels go up as we get into the end of next week. Some cloud breaks there in Newport. It's a Discover Newport camera, mid-40s. We've seen some sunshine in different places, and we've seen a few lingering showers. Watch here. You'll notice that the radar's picking up some activity up here in that northwest corner of the state. That's what we'll see trickling through, coming up in different places at different times. We're not going completely dry. We're just not in wall-to-wall snow, rain, sleet coverage. It's just a few scattered showers for the rest of the day. Mainly dry at the coast into the upper 40s. We're done with the snow, mainly dry for the rest of the day and warming into the low 40s. Still first alert, though, those road conditions for here and in the gorge. And although warmer in the gorge, it is still going to be in the mid to upper 30s. Up at the mountain, still a little bit of snow going up there this morning. Those snow-packed roads, drier this afternoon. Central and eastern Oregon will see some snow today. I've watched it through the gorge. We still have some winter weather watches and warnings for the Cascades and either sides of the slopes headed up to it. Low 40s mainly for your temperatures in the metro. And then, of course, the all-important 7-day forecast where we're watching things turn warmer and just rainy at times. Tony?
Yeah, thanks, Katie. Boy, great shot here along 217 past Canyon Road. Some sunshine out there. The roads are melting away, so just wet pavement right now. And again, very light traffic. That's really been the key this morning to things moving along relatively smoothly, is that fewer people are out there driving. So that's definitely a plus at this point. And again, these conditions continue to improve as the morning continues as well. Back to you.
All right, Tony, thank you.
We know the snow has frustrated a lot of drivers, maybe some others out there, but you know, some really enjoy this weather.
Next, we're taking a moment to enjoy the beauty of our winter weather. Oh, as we get ready to say goodbye to you on this Valentine's Day, we want to share some of the beauty this snow brought us.
Yeah, we want to show you this video. Our morning editor, Adrian, put this together for us, just showing some of the scenes out there, the sights and scenes, not of cars sliding around, but boy, that's a pretty one, isn't it? We've had people send all kinds of beautiful videos. I love that.
That was Salem yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. You got to get out there and enjoy it when you can, right? And kids, of course, you know, they dream of snow days. It's like the best for the kids. We just love to see these. We want to keep it going because there's a fun one at the end, I think, that we really want to see. But I just love to see people out there. Okay, here it is.
That's so great.
Was one of the highlights today as well. So thank you for sharing your videos. Thanks to all of our photographers and crews for
snow on its
capturing video out
whiskers.
there. And, yeah, I love it.
That's
Glad
great.
you're all safe. Yeah.
Wrap it up for us, Katie.
Okay, let's be done with this, shall we?
Please.
Yes.
Please.
Okay, we're done. We're done for now. We're just going to go into some rainy, more like this is what you would expect type of weather over the next week, which, you know, temperatures aren't too hot. They're not
53
too
is like 80 to me next week. I can't wait.
Kidding.
And some sunshine in there.
Breaking out the shorts.
Can you guys believe, though, it was just the day before yesterday. Like
crystal clear.
It was crystal clear.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about the sunshine, and you were like, "Oh, I love this," and I'm like, "Yeah, be ready."
You warned us.
I did, and everybody's like, "I can't feel like I haven't seen the sun in forever." I'm like, it was like 36 hours ago.
Yeah. It did seem like weeks, though.
It did.
I have to tell you too, your weather team has done such a great job.
No
and for those of you who aren't able to stay with us all day, Tony was here until 7 o'clock last night, and then he's been with us all morning. So you guys have done just a great job, all of
my
you.
reward is showing you this last final shot. There's some sunshine, roads are improving.
look at that.
All getting better and better. So yeah, not quite out of the woods yet, but I mean, so close that we're just about at that point.
You guys ready for the weekend?
Oh yes.
You ready? Should we do it?
Well, I told my husband, I said, I know I haven't seen you in about 36 hours, but when I go home, I'm getting into bed.
Yeah.
I am taking a nap.
I need some quiet time. Yeah.
Have a great weekend and a wonderful Valentine's Day, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.